That's what I should have. Save me, Tom Cruise. I'm on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't make that joke that night. That was one of the jokes I did not make.
No, but it was appropriate.
I did make a joke with one of the firefighters at one point about hose size. There was something he had said, and I was asking him if he was hose shaving me because he was saying that our little garden hoses weren't gonna.
I seem to recall you commenting about something like when I was talking to you. You were hose shamed. Yeah.
Yes, that was.
And dudes, thank you for the visit. That was a nice visit, and actually getting to see some of the stuff in person.
Oh, that's right. You guys, did either of you do any video about that interaction or?
No, I did a small little one,
yeah.
But I wasn't. I was just there to see a friend, so it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, no, I was kind of leading that into. I've been a terrible YouTuber lately because I've been
probably worse than me. You've been actually putting stuff out. I have done nothing.
Well, I've done some shorts, but like I didn't film anything with my GMC that is now fixed. I'm no longer a Duramax killer. Well, I guess I am still a Duramax killer, but I fixed it.
Very good.
Just the CP4 pump, at 55,206 miles. And then I tore the pump apart and it doesn't look like anything's wrong in there.
Huh. Weird.
Hey, Becky, how are you doing? Thank you very much. Working on homework. Don't work too hard now. I
watched a video the other day that says you're not supposed to do homework. You're just supposed to send that back to school and tell them to do their job.
I agree with that.
I don't.
Say what now? What's the?
Yeah, there's a new consensus that at-home time is for the parents and family, and there shouldn't be homework, and teachers should do their job and be teaching kids at school, not at home.
I mean,
because practice doesn't make perfect or nothing.
Here's a group effort.
I'm going to put my take on this. And I believe that this course should be structured so that you can actually achieve the learning goals within the allotted time. However, if someone does not pay attention or does not do the work during that allotted time, then they will incur homework, and they should therefore do it at that point.
Yes, that's the way it is for my child. If you don't get the work done, it has to come home, and he's learned real quick that he'd rather do it at school than with me. It's weird.
Yeah. So in that context of homework, I'm okay with. It's this, hey, read chapters this to this, dump the books on them. I don't really want to teach it. And that's your homework.
I'll take that over. We're going to watch this movie and talk about it.
Jared,
yes. The reason the live stopped before the fire was time mismanagement. Multiple. No, it's 100% me. Well, so right before I had to go up to Washington to deal with some property stuff with the Washington piece of property, which was nice to go up there and see people and hang out. But it was still a trip that I had to do that kind of cut into this. And then what was the week before that? I don't even know. Time mismanagement. That's what it boils down to.
You're going to go hang out with real people.
That has been so if you guys have noticed, I have not been putting out the normal amount of videos because I haven't been doing editing because I've been doing a lot of time in real life. And that's time consuming.
Well, I mean, I kind of ran into the same thing. Like we were trying to get the pre-gen done for No Name Nationals, and we did get it.
Yeah, and you had that trip coming too, so it kind of coincides. So that's right; it's your fault. That's why we didn't.
We did get it done, but we couldn't get the inspection done because the other province system was down. So none of the garages could really do the inspection because they couldn't get it in the registry in time to get the car approved.
That's so Kanakistan.
Yeah, we quickly switched gears and said, okay, well, we got the Trans Am. Let's get the clutch fixed on it. So the night before, we're fixing the clutch and the window and the roof on the Trans Am so we can make the trip.
CP, what's up, brother?
Hey, long time no see. Good to see you. But it kind of like, I'm not taping any of this. I got to get this done. So
that's the thing. And you get into the crunch zone, and my wife does a pretty good job most times if she's around of being like, "Hey, are we filming this?" Until I'm like, "No, I don't even want this to be recorded." Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I started filming some of the stuff for the CP4 issue until it really until after the fire. After the fire, I kind of stopped filming a lot of things because it was just I was doing little bits everywhere. I had so many. For a while, I just felt like I was doing a little bit of everything and getting nothing accomplished until the other day when everything kind of came together. Because I promised a buddy I'd help him do a motor in his Toyota, which has been going on in the background this whole time, which I also didn't film very well because a terrible YouTuber. That's just my own, really. Just the worst.
Yes. Yeah, no. Right here, worst.
You
have a legit reason. I mean,
it's really not. I just needed to manage my time, and I didn't manage YouTube stuff, and I went the easy route and said, you know what, this would be a lot easier if I just don't do any YouTube with it. And I was right.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes at times. Yeah. Well, right now I'm changing an engine in a van, and I'm like,
I'm not. So Frank right here has the not in Preza build, and I like the name. The problem is he came up with it after we'd kind of crushed it. And the other problem with the Subaru is that metal is cheap Japanese metal to begin with. And then it was cheap Japanese metal that had been super heated, forged almost, if you will.
It's harder now. It means it's stronger.
It's stronger now, yeah.
I think the term you're looking for is brittle.
No,
it's been carbonized.
It's good.
There was definitely some carbon released in or out of that metal in one way or the other. How much of
the LS1 intake ended up in the LS1 cylinders?
I actually got really lucky and nothing melted down too far into the runners. Everything was down far enough that I was actually able to chip it out of the runners. I mean, it got hot enough that I'm gonna have to pull the heads. That motor is a core. It's a base, basically. The transmission's a core now. It got really hot.
It's called a long block.
Look, is that what we're going to call it? Long block. Excuse me.
Short block.
Short block. Well, it's definitely a long block now because it has the heads on it, just no intake manifold. Yeah. Well, my intake manifold, I went to get the stick that goes up because it was sitting across the intake manifold, but it was now part of the intake manifold, so that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was funny when I ripped it apart. I actually took the manifold out and threw it off to the side, into the trash pile. And my dad was pushing things around, and it was upside down, so it looked like a good part. So he got out of the machine and picked it all up, and he was like, "Oh, he's gonna want this." And he set it down. He looked at it again. He's like, "Oh no, it's melted on the other side. Oh, he probably threw this in the pile."
So was that a truck intake manifold, or was it an LS1 intake?
That was an LS1 intake. I couldn't put the truck manifold on there because it was too tall.
Yeah. Will it run?
So the problem was it was so burnt, smelled of. So here's the thing: it was full interior car, and it was full of all of the LS parts I had been keeping to do everything to that car. So we had 10 over pistons that were in there. We had a set of worked heads that were in there. We had a stage 2. There was a stage 2 sloppy mechanics cam that was in there, turbo cam. There was a full stud kit in there. There's just a ton of stuff that was in that car in boxes, and then all that stuff forged. I'm calling it forged now because all the aluminum that was crap aluminum is now forged aluminum. At least that's what I'm telling the freaking scrap guys. The motor was not melted. It did get hot though, and I've got rust. So the bits of head gasket that stick out like the back of the block where the firewall was on fire, they got a little rusty from heat and water. So the box of CP pistons that were in the back, I took some pictures of. They were actually melted together. So my one buddy was like, "That's not the right kind of melted pistons. That's wrong." But yeah, it was a lot of not good, definitely with that car. I feel bad. So Turlo is just having a hard time. And of course, all of my videos lately have been destroying that poor car, or what's left of it, realistically. And he's just ripping his heart out every time. Dude, Chad,
the underside.
Chad, that fire was so hot. I had aluminum diamond plate that melted. Impact guns that my dad had in his toolbox. They're aluminum handles, but the metal up top, it melted them in half. It's insane how hot that fire was. So hot.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
Duct tape and stuff. So I guess the biggest problem I had is everything. You were never going to put glass in it. I guess two big problems I had with it. I knew bringing it back to being able to do anything that wasn't going to be like shit flying into your eyes as you drove it. And at the end of the day, it was a $400 car that I dumped a bunch of time into.
It was never drivable at any point.
No, it drove. It did run. It ran and drive when I brought it in.
Yeah,
barely
with its original motor.
Yes. Yeah, no, I never got the LS swap done. It was
correct
95% maybe.
Like
90,
if it was something
95.
that ran and drove a little bit, you could have went, all right, let's do some things and make it do that. But
I'm not gonna lie.
did.
When I put it up in the air, to strip the running gear out from underneath it. Right, I laid under there for a while and I looked at it because the drive shaft looked brand new. The paint parts that I'd painted in the rear end looked good. The shocks were toasty at the top. Those Viking shocks, I don't know if they're going to be good or not. Yeah, they're probably not good.
They're going to work twice and all the innards
insides are going to go. Well, I'm more worried about the springs that got hot at the top because the reservoirs are at the
harder.
Are at the bottom. Well, you should have seen the driver's front shock tower or whatever caught on fire. Right. Strut caught on fire, and it took the springs that are normally and it made them this tall. And that's why as soon as we went to roll it forward, it went plink. It was hot fire. Seriously, you've talked about that too. There's a lot of people that put the most unsafe things on the road. That's a definition of safe, though.
I don't get it.
We are talking about
no. You talk about people. We've talked about people.
Oh, I've talked about people all the time. It's ridiculous what people think should be on the road.
That guy owns it, and a perfect example of what was on the road.
Yeah, and it's not half as bad as some of the stuff that I know is on the road.
Oh yeah, the fire hazard Fairlane. Yeah.
There's a reason we had to. We're done here.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of where I was at with it, man. I was just like, I'm okay. So I'm literally in a fire sale kind of mood. Pun on purpose, I guess here. You know what I mean? And it's just, I don't think that it, even in a YouTube sense, especially for my YouTube channel, did not make any sense to try and rebuild the car that I, like you said, never actually finished.
Never ran. Like if it ran and just needed a little more, you could do a little tweaking and it'd be like a waste of time.
But it burnt out all the interior. Like, I mean, realistically, I was able to pull, other than the fact everything has to be gone through and everything that was in there it could drive. So now everything needs to be rebuilt. So that kind of sucks. But like the fuel cell survived. So the only thing I'm really out is all of the work I did into back halving and forelinking the back of that car. If I can get another, see, it's the problem. And this is the thing. If I could get another one, I don't know that I'd do it.
Yeah, because you weren't finishing it anyway.
I was going to finish it. I'm going
to finish a lot of things in life.
Listen, it needed like $5,000 worth of parts put into it. That was it. That's all we really needed at the end. We needed injectors.
You should have finished it.
Well, the problem was I didn't have a shop. It was in storage.
It was in a shop.
No, it was actually parked out back. That thing was like 4 feet away from the building.
Other things got shop.
That frame that I actually would work on for free. Yeah.
Header paint is to be used for all things now.
Header paint would have. Well, so that's the really crazy part. That thing was parked like 4 feet off the building, and it got so hot that I'm assuming the boxes inside the back of it, because it was backed up to the building. I'm assuming
700 degrees for things to ignite. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised. That fire was hot.
So did they determine what started the fire?
They have 30 days to get us that report, and it hasn't been 30 days yet. It's one of those deals.
Well, it's going to become close, though. I mean,
the 14th, so it's only the 6th. So we got another week or so.
It happened just before we left, then.
Yeah. It was, I think the 13th was the evening it happened. The 14th was, into the 14th type of deal. Yeah, so I'm sitting here, and I get a phone call that says the shop's on fire. I've called 911, and I'm like, okay. So I hopped in the side-by-side and jammed out there. And by the time I got there, it was the back wall of the building was on fire, and the truck it's a 80s, late 80s, early 90s Matco tool truck, P30 Chevy, is big time on fire. Now, yes.
I was going to ask you about that. What size motor was in that thing?
454.
What are you doing with that?
Oh, there's nothing left of it.
Oh, come on.
I'm pretty sure that was what started the fire, but I'm not a fire investigator, because when I showed up on scene, the back wall of the shop was on fire. Not terrible, but it was pretty decent on fire. And there were pallets of wood between the truck and the building that were also kind of big time, not big time, but good on fire. And the truck was on like things exploding fire, like things were going big time boom. The truck was big time on fire. And at one point, because it was closer to the building, my brother actually hopped in it and drove it away from the building while it was on fire. Like the back half of the vehicle is on fire, the gas tank is on fire, but we drove with what was left in it and got it as far as it would drive until it died. Yeah. That's why when everyone, like, when I say it's a good thing no one got hurt, there were some risks taken and some things
I'm driving the fire truck. No, the one on fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea was it was big on fire and the building was kind of on fire. And so there was no saving the truck. So get that as far away from the building as we can. And then at that point, I was trying to get the wood that was palletized next to the building. So I got the dozer and was trying to push it away while it was on fire, but the building's on fire. It's on fire. The thing's on fire. There was a lot of stuff that was done before we were kicked off the fire. You know what I mean? All right, let's see here. Oh, Shopcack in the house. How's it going, brother?
Fire.
Let's see here. Lucky answer cause fire. Yep. The consensus was when the guy was here, this is the state fire inspector, he was thinking it was something to do with the dust collector motor, because my dad had it basically was a cabinet shop. That's what 90% of that building was a pretty good size commercial cabinet shop. And then I had what used to be the old carport where I used to park the bus, and that was where I was kind of my dungeon, I called it, because back when you could park the bus in there was multiple, it was one big level, and then he put another floor in there and whatnot. What is hanging out of the bottom? Oh, it's a strap to pull your new junk.
Don't worry about that. We're going to talk about it.
Do I need to put that? Why'd you send that to me? Do I need to put that up? Oh, don't talk about that?
Don't talk about that.
You should probably put that in the message when you send it to me.
I don't think I'm in on that one, so that's probably, it sounds like a good thing.
So I've had tons of people, Chad, tell me how well I'm taking it and how, they thought I'd be whatever. And I'm just like, part of me is like, wow, what'd you think I was going to do? You know what I mean? And the other part of me is just like, what are you going to do? It's like, that was the thing that night with the live stream. And I went back and watched it too. And I was definitely at a point when I had taken enough shorts that I was just like, I don't want to take any more shorts of this. Like, I don't want to be, and I told dudes this when I was putting them out. I put out every single short of that thing burning in the first day. And I sent them out every hour because I wanted to be done with all of the building on fire content in one day. You know what I mean? We're going to get them all out because I filmed them. I felt like some obligation to put them up. But at that point, I figured I had enough of those. And I was just like, I guess we'll go live because there's just nothing else that can be done here. No one was bringing me marshmallows at that point. So I was,
I don't think I'd be roasting marshmallows over that fire.
At that point, I would have done it just to be that guy. This way, some firefighter would have to tell somebody like, yeah, this dude was roasting marshmallows. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Those toxic marshmallows.
Yeah, this dude didn't give 0. Yo, hey, who's your friend down there? What's up? What kind of party's going on with the dudes with wrenches over here? Where's that wrench that goes on the wall, the big red one?
I got to see that wrench in person.
Oh, Jesus, that sounds way dirtier. Dean, how's it going, brother? How's the weather down yonder? Found out the F1 unsold?
Like me.
Oh no. Dang. Sorry to hear that, Shop Cat. Yeah, go get a chair. Jeez, join the party. I'm sure you have questions as well. Get out here. Enough range to go on escapades. Yeah.
I think he's saying you should build a bulldozer.
Yeah, that's you got to have a good bit of steel laying around.
Yeah,
to really,
yeah. Well, you get the
plate steel.
On that note, I think you should build the whole thing out of whatever that carport's made out of, because it didn't care.
At one point, there's literally building burning on top, and I'm watching the glow. We're underneath it. My brother was like moving the excavator or something, and I'm just like, "Hey, can we get some water up there? That's like on fire." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, sure." Then shoot a little water up there. Oh man, yeah, that carport is the truth.
Yeah, the car melted 4 feet away. The carport attached to the building is still standing.
Yes. Well, to be fair, they were actually putting water on that part of the building, right? That particular spot that, some water, more than those going on.
I feel like they were putting water on all of it, and it all burned down.
Oh, no. So that was the problem. The truck showed up. They kicked us all off, and they brought 1,500 gallons of water with them. And that fire was angry, and it burned through that 1,500 gallons. They burned through that 1,500 gallons quick. And then from there, they had to wait on transfer trucks to come set up. I don't even know, probably, I would say, 1/8 mile of hose that had to be set up to pump up to where they were. Yeah. It was quite the to-do to get water. I mean, we're out here, but it's like a fire at the farm. There's no fire hydrant at the farm.
Right. How far is the lake from you?
Really big pump on the well. So.
Well, yeah, you're right. We don't have that here because we're not ag. So
yeah.
Like
fire happens at the farm. It's like a 5 horsepower pump on the well to feed a whole farm.
Yeah. Well, and that's what it boiled down to. Like I said, when the guy was hose shaming me, it didn't matter. I mean, we had little tiny. There just wasn't enough water being thrown at what was just a very angry fire, dude. I mean, you're talking about a cabinet shop that had wood in there everywhere for material, and then around the building too, there were just pallets of pine and fir and different hardwoods inside the shop. That it was just one of those things.
Glue and stain and just all kinds of flammable materials.
Yeah, CP, the timing on that was definitely crazy. I was like, I saw it like the day after or whatever it was, and I was like, holy crap. And there's a lot of people too that said, I mean, this type of thing happens, but it was amazing how many people were like, wow, it's your shop, somebody else's, and somebody else's. There's been a lot of it going around. I was like, that's terrible to hear, because it sucks.
Well, it makes you think that you can get some of these fire cabinets that you could put some stuff in. None of us do. I'm not going to say none of us, but
not
a bad idea.
I don't know, man. There were those fireproof ones. How big of stuff can you put in it? Because I had steel containers, cruise boxes and toolboxes that just incinerated everything inside of them. You know what I mean? Like aluminum just melting. Like it was nothing there ever. So I had a Model 32 tube bender. And it has big aluminum chunk dies that are on the form, not the big one, but the draw. I don't remember which one you call it. They just melted away to nothing, gone. My brother finds like nuggets of aluminum that look like they dripped down and then just formed. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the interesting thing is I used to do with the campfires and stuff, take the tin can, you put the aluminum can inside the tin can, you could melt it down into nuggets.
Yeah. Well, my brother's been getting all the motors out of the big. So my dad had probably 6 big shapers in there. There was at least 4 or 5 machines in that shop that ran on 3-phase power. Like there was, and then the 3-phase inverter was a big giant motor. So he's been getting those motors and getting the copper and stuff out of them, and they've been doing loads. We got a bunch of scrap metal that is going somewhere, and then like all we're taking big loads. She's just over there hiding and giggling. At least she came out from underneath the desk, so that's better.
This keeps bothering me.
Yeah, that thing is very aggressive today.
Very, very sucky today. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, sorry to hear that, Dean. H2O to go. I have the action report, but I haven't looked to see if they calculated how much water they brought out here to throw at that fire. Like, as it tells you, it's got like, you know, when they received the call and who went and when they called a set, because it was a 2-alarm fire. When they got here, they were like, oh no, we need more people, which is never what you want to hear from the first responders. When they got there, it was kind of a false, like, oh sweet, they're gonna put it out. You know what I mean? Because when they got there, my dad's side of the shop was completely engulfed, and the roof was starting to come down on his side of the building. And then there were 2 more walls before it got to my corner, you know, whatever third of the building or whatever it was. And it seemed like they could maybe stop that. So at that point, I got the oxyacetylene torches out of the garage. I got the welders that had the pressure cylinders on them. I got like an oil bowser and a couple of used oil drum, like anything that I was like, oh, that's flammable or potentially a bomb. I'm like, that should probably get out of here as like things are burning. And then finally they're like, yeah, you can't go back in there anymore, even though they weren't really putting too much water on it, because at that point they were pretty much running out of water. I didn't know that at the time, because they were like, hey, you got to get out of here, you know. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get out of here so you guys can do your work. And it was more like, no,
we probably can't save you if something happens. So.
Yeah, that's what actually was going on there, which, you know, I get. There's just not, I mean, that's what happens. Rural fires out in the middle of nowhere out here. It's part of the game.
Well, I don't think the idea that they're coming to put a fire out. No, they're just coming to manage a fire so it doesn't spread.
Yeah, well, that was the big thing I was worried about once it really got going. Because you're talking, this thing's like I think it's basically 40 by 40, I think was roughly the size of this building. And it's at one point, I mean, you guys have all seen the videos, it's going up real big. And my dad has done a very good job of doing a good, what do they call that? Fire break around the building. Because we always kind of figured forest fire is a thing here you got to be prepared for. We always kind of thought the fire would come from the towards us instead of from us, but fortunately he had done a very good job of preparing for that aspect, and it didn't catch. The official report gets us with 1/100th of an acre of tree damage is what we were quoted at. One tree burnt pretty decently. And then there were 3 trees behind the building that were dead and got a little crispy, but they were dead before. We're not sure if they counted those as a kill from the building or not.
Well, at least that worked out then.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, that'd be worst case. That was where at a certain point that night, I was a bit concerned about it catching the rest of the neighborhood on fire. Like, because that would have been the worst, like literally the worst. Like, I didn't really want to think about that, but yeah. I didn't make more serious about good housekeeping. Oh man, seriously, battery chargers, rags, and a freaking thing. You know, that was the crazy part. I had a big fire extinguisher that was down in my lower part of the shop that we just got from my grandfather's. And it got burnt up in the fire. like no one ever got it and used it. And then, to be fair, by the time everyone got on the fire, it wasn't going to do anything. You know what I mean? The fire was too far along for a big fire extinguisher at that point when people were made aware of said fire. So it was just crazy to see this giant fire extinguisher melted. like not even this stood up.
It's interesting that you brought up the rags. Did you happen to watch DD Speed Shop when he did the experiment on the?
No, actually, my dad was just telling me a story earlier about somebody losing a shop to rags at one point.
Yeah, I've actually watched a few videos that have done that, and it's actually really crazy what just some rags in a box will do.
Yeah. But DD Speed Shop did a great one where he put it in shine juice or whatever it is that all these people like to use nowadays. He threw it in the box and he put the camera on it and he put it on time lapse or whatever. And yeah, it lit up.
Really lit up, yeah.
Yeah. And the reason he did it is because he almost did it to himself. So he recreated what he did because he actually did catch his shop on fire, but he managed to get it out.
Yeah.
And that's what he theorized did it. So he recreated it. And yep, sure enough.
Well, and that's the thing. I was talking to somebody about this afterwards. I've fought a few fires through my lifetime. This was the first fire that we didn't beat or stop, or you know what I mean? We've had some losses to fires that I've had, but we've always kind of won in the end. Most of those were military, and one was a field fire we ran upon one time as kids, but and some were some other things. But yeah, this one was the first one where I was just like, yeah, no, that's winning. I'm woefully unprepared to do anything for that. It was angry, you know.
Well, I make sure I keep a few fire extinguishers on hand for when I inevitably light a vehicle on fire.
I do the same thing because I light things
times,
on fire.
Purpose,
yeah, but you have. I've even done things in the shop like I'm going to do something dumb, and I'm like, okay, where are the fire extinguishers? Let's just figure out. We all know where those are. Okay, cool. Let's do the dumb thing we were gonna do.
Let's just say my track record of setting vehicles on fire is not good, or is good, however you want to look at it.
Well, it's never good, but in our chosen hobby, it does happen. When I'm spitting red hot flames, cutting torches and things, or welding, things catch on fire. I've caught on fire.
The Volvo might have had a small fire under it at one point or another when we were building.
Quite a few. I remember somebody just blowing it out. Just all right, we're good.
And the fun part was the dripping hot undercoat that someone was working near.
Just melted the floor coating. It's fine.
Yeah, that's all it did.
All over Ryan's floor. He was chipping that up for a while.
Yeah, I think he redid the floor is what he ended up doing.
No fire retardant would have been airdropped. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Those metal shop rag cans are a must. For real, they really are. Fortunately, this wasn't any sort of chemical fire or anything like that. But there was a couple of spots where it got into, like, in one corner there was a bunch of lacquer, the type of things for cabinets, I guess, whatever. And that side probably went up pretty good. There was some big bangs and some stuff. There was a bunch of Ramset ammo in there. You ever seen what those are for putting nails into concrete?
Okay, yeah.
Basically 22 shells. So at one point it's small arms fire, just freaking pap 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 pap. I was like, oh, okay, all right, this is party time. Wow. Had a house fire. Damn, dude. Fortunately, most of mine this is the first big shop fire. I've had a couple of little shop fires that were like, oh, that could have been bad. Field fires and basically field fires were the ones. And then, a couple military incidences.
Well, I think the worst one was
Tim Windsor. How's it going, brother?
Hey, Tim. I think the worst one I had was I was at Dirtbag's house and we were working on a car in his garage and we were painting it. And I lived at the house at the time in the basement, and they had bars on the windows. And I had asked when I moved in. I said, "Hey, where's the key for the lock?" "Oh, we don't know. It's fine. You'll be okay."
Don't worry about it. You don't need to get out a window or anything.
Yeah. So,
oh god,
I got tired. I was like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm going to bed." And I got cleaned up, went to my room, passed out, and I hear Chris banging around, and then I hear him cursing, and then I hear him upstairs in the shower, and then I hear a big bang. I thought, what the frig? Did he slip in the tub or?
Yeah.
And I was like, screw it. I'm going back to sleep. I thought, I better go check on him just in case. Not something I want to see, but
I'm going
just in case.
I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah. I get up, and my room's in the very back corner of the basement, and I got to walk by the furnace and everything to get out of that basement. And I go walking by, and I make it to the stairwell, and I'm like, something wasn't right. And I'm half asleep, and I back up, and the whole damn wall's on fire.
Oh shit!
I'm like, oh shit, right? And I yell, Chris, in a panic. Boy, I woke up real quick.
Yeah, it's amazing how that happens.
Fire extinguishers. I go running out to the garage. I grab the fire extinguisher. I get the fire out. Meanwhile, Chris is so excited. He comes right out of the bathroom, straight out of the bathroom. No towel, no nothing. Damn. And he comes running downstairs.
he's ready to fight this fire.
And I just finished getting the fire out, and I come around the corner, and there's something else I don't want to see, right?
Oh, good.
So I'm like, oh no, it's good. Go get some clothes on, right? But what had happened is he was cleaning up some of the paint guns and stuff, and we had one of those plastic sinks in the basement.
Yeah.
And he spilled the paint thinner, and it went down the drain. And that drain was just a drain that went into a floor sump. And what they've said is what happened was the gases from that came up, and when the hot water tank lit up from him taking a shower, it lit up the gases, backflowed up to the sink, and lit everything on fire.
Holy shoot! Yeah.
And what I heard was there's a can of hand cleaner there, and it was so hot it blew up.
Holy shit!
And that was the bang, and that's what woke me up, and saved my life, really. So that was my probably his scariest experience with fire.
Yeah, that's I've never had one in my living environment. That's scary in a like it's been shops or other things out like that. It's never been like there. You know what I mean? That's just wild. Renegades, what's up, brother?
And the other problem, of course, was if I did get trapped in there, I had those bars on the window.
Yeah, where are you gonna go?
No way to get it off.
Oh man, Tim, that is no good, brother. But like you said, skin cancer is very treatable. I've actually known quite a few people that have had some bits taken off of them. See if they can. Are you gonna get like a beauty mole when they take that off, or can you have them put it like on one of those face tattoo things? I don't know. I don't know what else you can really do for when they take bits of skins off. I know they offered me a prosthetic when they took the bit of me that had issues, but I was I did not accept the prosthetic. They had to do it in it would have been two separate surgeries.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. And after doing the surgery the first time, there was
you don't want anyone down there or
it's
anyone there
not worth it for no. Ever again, like you said, it's a no-go, no-fly zone, if you will.
Yes, that is no knives there, please.
Yeah, it's a no-knife zone at this point.
Yeah,
for real. Okay, everyone.
That's a concern, Tim.
Well, Tim, I hope you get yourself a full workup. I know when they found whatever they found with me, I got full body CT scan, all of the radiation to see everything that was going on. I hope they are doing a very similar procedure for you there, brother. Going to be tested for that. Okay, there you go. So you got it coming quick. Well, hopefully, Tim, we are all sending good thoughts and prayers, and it will hopefully
Absolutely.
be quick and relatively painless for you. Tell them that I said you need a double for whatever it is they're going to give you. Just make it a double.
Yeah. Just put me out, boys.
Oh, so I had an epidural done the week after the fire, the Monday after the fire, and they give you a little something in the IV before they come in and shove, the needle in your back.
Yeah.
And so I was like, make sure it's a double. I'm a big guy.
Yeah. Well, I can't take any of that. I'm allergic to the morphines and stuff. So
see, I don't know if now are you just like to all opium derivative type? So you have to be non-opium derivative, or is it any?
It'll have to be non-opium derivative, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the way I found out is when I had my kidney stone, and they said, "Well, you got any allergies?" I'm like, "No, but mom's allergic to morphine." And the doctor's like, "Well, it's not hereditary, but just in case, we'll give you just a tiny bit." So they gave me a little bit, and I had the red line start going up the arm. And he's like,
wow.
No more morphine for you. Here's a hot water bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely, every time they ask me, they're like, hey, no allergies? I was like, nope, we've tried a lot of things, though.
Yeah.
They've been sticking me and poking me with things, you know what I mean? for a long time.
We've been working on the list so far.
Yeah, I can tell you a lot of things I'm definitely not allergic to. But yeah, when they were wrapping it up, I was like, anyway, I can get one of these for the road, because I had a driver already, because they're like, you can't drive. And I was like, can I get a roadie? Before you pull the IV out? They were like, they said no.
No. It's unfortunate.
It was, because I was like, this is some good stuff. I see why you guys get the good stuff. Okay, cool. I don't know. I try to have a good time with those guys. It's kind of like with the whole fire. Everyone's like, oh, you've had such a good attitude with it, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, what other attitude is there? Yeah. If I thought being a shithead and being a pain in the ass about it would do anything positive, I would. I mean, other than making me feel better, and I don't know that it really would make me feel better.
I mean, being a jerk to the people trying to save the rest of you keep you alive, exactly. Or saying, why would you? Yeah. Right. You can be upset about the situation, but not to the people trying to rectify it for you.
Yeah, it sucks, but at the end of the day, it could be worse. Is just basically the gist of it. I mean, like I was telling you, there were things that were risks that were taken that could have went badly. That unfortunately,
absolutely,
thankfully, did not go badly, and it was just stuff at the end of the day.
Well, it's like you said, it's unfortunate. Maybe one or two vehicles weren't parked closer to the shed.
I'll tell you what, when I had to still go figure out what was wrong with my truck and then fix it after the fire, because I really needed my truck to move things for fire cleanup, I was just like, man, I wish this thing was in there, because it's just stupid. I was so mad at that truck. So in the process of like diagnosing, we broke the freaking return line setup from the injectors, so I had to put a new injector return line thing on it, and then I broke it as I was putting the new one on. And let me tell you, Duramax and GMC did some just the worst engineering I've ever had, and that broke me a little bit. That night was a little rough. I was like, are you kidding me?
My basic rule behind, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because chances are you'll break something trying to fix it.
We totally broke it. I'll put it this way, mongrels, I would rather change the CP4 pump, which in the book calls for it to be a 10-hour job, than change that return line.
Yeah.
It was way worse on the return line.
Oh, yeah.
Way worse. Everyone's saying, hey. Lots of whiskey. I feel like that is what the doctor ordered. Oh, no.
That's always fun.
Oh, hell to the no.
Take my wristwatch off.
If I'm supposed to be out, I better be out. So when I broke my wrist, I dislocated every bone in my wrist here. Did a really good job on it. And it was like Memorial Day weekend, so the real doctors were not around. And so they put me in this like Chinese finger trap thing that hung my fingers and then put it had like a C-clamp x-ray thing and then put me out and tried to set the bones in my wrist. And apparently they underestimated my size and propensity for absorbing drugs very quickly, apparently. So my wife says I was out not enough to where I was very angry and upset, needed to be restrained and more drugs given to me to calm me down. I don't remember any of it. All I know is they're rolling me to freaking MRI and she's like, you need to apologize to these people. And I'm coming out of like, I'm on some good stuff at this point. I'm just looking at her like, huh? And she's like, you were very mean to these people. And apparently I was pulling out the vocabulary. Because, I mean, you got to think, they are squeezing on my destroyed wrist.
Yeah.
And I had some things to say about it.
Well,
so I'm just like, I looked at the lady who was pushing me. I was like, I'm sorry. And she's like, oh, it's not your fault. She's like, damn. Wake out of a coma. I see you were in a coma. Costa Rica. How do you know? Oh wow.
No, she was saying she was in a waking coma. So it was one of those. I've been there after a fight where someone knocked me out, where I could hear what was going on, but the body was completely unresponsive.
Yeah.
Well, I've only ever been knocked out once, and that was an experience.
I have time traveled from drinking one time, and then all outside of that, it's all been surgeries. Or like when I got my CPAP machine, I time travel at night now, which is pretty awesome. Sometimes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, good nights I can like boy. So I guess the days that I don't abuse my body so much that the pain from rolling over wakes me up. Now that I have the CPAP, I will time travel, which is awesome.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh,
I think the
cool.
kids did some of that on the road trip.
Yeah, road trips are always the best places to time travel.
Yeah.
You wake up and you're like, oh, sweet, half of this trip is done.
Well, the longest haul we had, we went from St. Louis to Denver in a day. And
oh, wow. Hell yeah, Tim, good for you.
That was pretty good. That was about 12 hours, right? And I think we stopped maybe twice. And that was it. And so the kids had a few naps on that stretch.
Yeah. Rather than put her, they gave her drugs she wouldn't remember. Oh wow. Her mom was not pleased. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so I got put out for my wrist twice. Once when they said they set it, and when they actually did the surgery. I got put out for my ankle. I got put out for my wisdom teeth. That would have probably been the first time I was put out. They didn't put me out when so before I had cancer, when I was like in the 4th or 5th grade, I lacerated my scrotum.
Ooh.
I guess would be the best way to put this, like 17 stitches lacerated.
Ooh.
Yeah. So before I lost that guy all them years later, I got to see what it looked like outside.
No.
One hell of an experience, let me tell you. But so when they got me in there,
have a good one, Renegade.
Renegade, yeah, Runaway Renegades. This story.
Yeah, he's running away.
Run away.
I think he started running away before the story, but we'll have to see.
He made Anyhow, long story short, they gave me laughing gas to like calm me down, and they're just like breathe normal, and I was just like taking just big old rippers off of it, and they're like breathe normal. I'm like correct, and then they like turned it off. They're like it's not even on. It's like I don't care. Give me more.
Can I have some for my car?
Yes. Well, I mean, I was young at that point.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah.
So they didn't put me out for that one. And then I went out, like I said, I went out for my ankle, went out for the cancer one. And then, yeah, I think that's all the ones I've really been out for. Becky.
Well, like I said, I think I've only been out the one time, and that was when I got knocked out during a tournament.
Jeez, yeah.
That I came close a couple other times where I had the little stars of the birdies floated around the head. And
I loopied myself one time standing up into an H60 rotor head that was on the deck.
Oh,
it was on a stand, and so you didn't have your head protection on, and I just stood up and just
I've done that once or
myself.
twice. You know, I've got up on a wing stand or something and right into the flap carriage or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Navy always made us wear these stupid cranials, which, I mean, they definitely help a little, but you still ring your, even when you do it with a cranial on, you still ring your bell a bit.
Well, yeah. But it was funny because you could tell the guys like myself that actually had a pretty good head of hair and the guys that didn't. Because the guys that didn't, you know, it looked like Freddy Krueger got on them from. They had no pre-warning that they were going to ram their head into something. So
yeah. It's like I said, it's never good when you rack your dome on something.
The one time I almost got knocked out again was it was in one of those, well, like a razor, like a Chinese razor or whatever. You know, and I took a corner a little too fast, and there was a little bit of that, but I went through the windshield.
Oh shit!
Because I didn't have the belt on.
Yeah.
And on the way through the windshield, I knocked my head on the bar.
Oh shit!
I didn't have a helmet on.
Oh, just all of the good decisions.
Yeah, all the good stuff. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I probably had a concussion from that one, and. Because you know, I gashed my head pretty good. There's blood coming down, and you have that sick feeling in your stomach, and you're in shock. And I was like, I don't feel good.
I don't feel good. My tummy hurts.
Yeah, my tummy hurts.
Yeah, that's the worst, dude. Yeah. So today we're moving a washer and dryer. I have a older what was that, Maytag glass top, like nice thick deal. We go to move it and the top flung open and like right in the chest.
Oh,
and it just enough that it was just like thud, and I was just like it's just as I'm holding it, my brother's looking at me like, are you okay? I was like, I don't know, that thing just sucker punched me right in the chest, dude.
Yeah.
Like, damn. So that's been the crazy, you know. So now that the shop's gone, it's space is a premium because, you know, winter's coming and there are some things my dad, you know, wants to get his little shop up and going again, and so we've been moving things out of, you know, different storage places to move other things into different. It's wild times.
Well, I mean, at least all your Makitas are safe. Milwaukee, sorry. Yeah. Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah, the boxes. So didn't make
have any need for those anymore?
Didn't make it.
Oh, no.
Didn't make it. Didn't make it. Didn't make it. Yeah, I got a lot of pretty boxes here.
Yeah.
This, I think this one was in the side by side, so we didn't have to worry about that. That was in the side by side, so we didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, pretty much everything on the wall behind me was yeah. So when they asked for, you know, my insurance purposes,
none of that made it.
Well, they're like, did you buy it? I mean, you need to prove that you had it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Now I did get they did tell me anything used for the production of YouTube videos is only covered up to $1,000 because it's a business. Yep.
Really?
So I said, fine. There wasn't really any cameras in there anyhow. I lost I lost a GoPro, so a full GoPro, whatever, and then I lost the cord for my Surface. So I had to get a new one of those because, of course, they're proprietary and some special.
Let's explore this a little bit. Anything used for the production of, does that mean sound and video recording equipment, or does that mean like your frame? Because
I'm taking it as for the production and building or things I bought for making YouTube videos. So if I bought that frame to make YouTube videos about a frame, I guess I could say that, but I didn't buy that to make YouTube videos. I bought that to do fun gangster stuff, and I just happened to film that.
Yes.
So
I
like
think
the
the
camera
road
stand I lost, the microchip, the SD card, the GoPro, the charger for the camera, any of that type of stuff is what that's how I'm doing it. And so I've been asked, have to asterisk what the word I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no reason to keep those boxes. You're not wrong. It's my backdrop, damn it.
Well, no, now it's just going to get bigger because he's going to replace all those.
Stop hoarding. It's not
have a box
true.
full on
I'm gonna
box.
have so many boxes.
Oh, are we going to have another episode about hoarding now?
Oh, but he's not wrong. I'll tell you what. I will definitely get rid of a lot of these boxes to replace with new boxes. Because that's the one thing with my insurance policy is their 20% is being withheld until I provide receipts for replacing the items. And once I do that, they'll give me the 20% back as that goes. The big problem I have right now is all of my stuff was even in that garage to begin with because I don't have a place for it currently. So I am not, it's asterisks. Yep, there you go. See, Jared's got me.
Well, now does video count as proof of having it?
That's what got me into this problem with the whole YouTube thing in the first place. I said, because they were talking about proof of ownership, proving that I actually had it and that it was actually in a fire. And I said, well, that's easy. I've been doing YouTube. I've got lots of videos of me using this stuff. And they were like, oh, you do YouTube? And I was like, yeah. I was like, exactly. So she had to get back to me. And then when she said anything to use for the production of YouTube videos, I said, okay, that's very simple. That frame was not for the production of YouTube videos.
No.
Now, a camera, the computer, the internet extender. Oh, the internet extender. This is what happens. I'm going through a list. I'm making a list of everything that was in there. Just now, I was like, internet extender. Oh, I forgot about that. I need to put that on the list.
So is this $1,000 total, or is there $1,000 per
$1,000 total for now? That's just for YouTube stuff.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't take much. If a phone can be over $1,000, right?
Well, certainly. Well, fortunately, it was like an old, GoPro 10, I think it was, or whatever. So it's, $300 for one of those or whatever. And then it was a terabyte drive card that was in it and a little GoPro stand or whatever, nothing crazy.
Right. So you're talking about the GoPro that you had mounted in there to monitor the shop.
No, it was the one I'd use for like some of the lives.
No.
And
you're talking about the GoPro that you had in there to monitor the shop at night.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing with over there. There was so much stuff that was just kind of there because you set it there and it'll be there the next time I come back.
If I walked up to my garage right now, I've got my tripod and stuff like that in there.
Yeah. Well, and fortunately, I don't edit or do anything. So the majority of the cameras and things were here
or in the house,
in the office. You know what I mean? Which is completely off site because I don't live at that place. I don't live at my dad's place. You know what I mean? So it's I have things in multiple different places because I'm in multiple different places. Thank you. But that was the nice thing because like that little air compressor that's behind me and that ratchet set were in the side-by-side. So I have had some tools. And then I had some stuff that was at the shop where the truck was, fortunately. So that was at least something because like I have a Stanley kit that I keep in that truck. So at least I have that. So I have tools to do the basic things that need to be done.
So I got an insurance question for you about vehicles, specifically vehicles. The Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have that car insured?
No and yes. So the car doesn't have car insurance, but it's covered underneath my homeowner's insurance because it's stuff.
Up here, that's not the case.
Really?
Yes. So if I had my car parked in the garage, here's what the insurance companies do because they're right bastards about things. It's not covered under the homeowner insurance because it's a vehicle. But the vehicle insurance won't cover it either because it was in the house fire rather than
loophole. Well, so I mean, so the vehicle was not registered. It was not completed, and it was an off-road vehicle. Essentially, it's a drag car. It never got finished. That's the reason it wasn't registered. That's the reason.
Right.
It is what it is. So at the end of the day, I valued it at stuff. I valued that car, the shell, the roller, at $800. Yeah. It was an $800 roller. And then I did the Holly Dominator was whatever they're going for right now. And then you have all the harnesses that were in it. I think I did $1,500 for the motor, $1,000 for the transmission, I think maybe another $1,000 for the rear end is, and I think those are all reasonable prices. I probably even lowballing on some of them. Like this, I had sheet steel and round tube. I just kind of said $800 in sheet steel was what I had laying around, which I think is pretty fair for what I had. The tube. I mean, I had enough to do a whole full cage in that Subaru, so I know there's at least $800 in steel tubing in the shop, and it's kind of been stuff like that. But it sucks at this point. I'm through everything except about halfway through what was individually in the toolboxes. But I'm now going through pictures of all my wrenches. Well, how many wrench sets were in my wrenches? What were the wrench sets? Which ones are what type of drop forge bullshit? I've got a bunch of like crappy drop forge wrenches, but the big ones are still worth some money. But then I did, I had a cobalt ratcheting set and I had a great neck set, and you start figuring all these out. The ratchet drawer, I had a bunch of old Craftsman and a couple Snap-on ratchets and stuff like that, which, oh my God, I forgot how expensive freaking Snap-on stuff is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. And now realistically, a lot of the stuff I bought yard sale and second hand and stuff like that. So
it doesn't matter because Snap-on is still a lifetime warranty, right?
Not if it's been on fire. Anymore. Not if it's been on fire. They are like, that's insurance. We don't.
Well, of course, but what I'm saying is the tool itself is a lifetime warranty.
That's what they say. Craftsman's supposed to be the same way too.
So darn expensive.
I don't know. I just think they're one of those really good Ponzi schemes, and they tell everyone they're really expensive. So everyone's like, yeah, no, they are, because reasons. Like, why is the Snap-on toolbox $6,000 and the Husky toolbox $1,800?
They both have lifetime warranties too, probably.
Yeah. And they're both made out of pretty similar materials.
Well, this is where it's handy to have CP still in the audience and commenting on things.
I mean, and maybe he can tell me why they're so much more expensive. Because I mean, at the end of the day, my problem right now is I have nowhere to put anything, so I have no desire to start replacing things. And I feel so grateful for everyone that said, "Let me send you something, let me help you," and I really appreciate it. I just have, I'm freaking out a little bit in the area of I don't have anything.
Let's talk about
I've got
that.
Nothing. Yeah.
Are you going to take what you do get out of this, and are you going to build a shop now?
Well, yes. I'm always going to. What I do get out of this is obviously going to go into my savings and go towards the reason none of the projects have been getting done is because I've been saving to buy a piece of property. Now, will that property have a shop on it, or will I build a shop on it? It really depends on where we get. The way the market and the way everything's going and the economy and everything, I'm just over here going, ugh. And the thing is, I want to replace all of the things I had. I really do. I just can't do it right now. Like, I need to talk to my insurance and find out how long do I have to repurchase these items after you reimburse me for my loss. Because it may be 5 years before I'm able to get that big fabrication table. Do you have any idea how much those big fabrication tables are? That one with all the holes that I had?
Oh, they're pricey.
Oh my God, are they pricey? Yeah. Again, another item that I purchased secondhand for a really good deal. But if you need to go out and buy you a new one on the new, oh my God.
Well, the fact of the matter is anything you buy nowadays is about 4 times what it was like 5 years ago, man.
Facts, except TVs. I had that TLC TV on the wall. Oh my God. The mount that holds that TV is now more expensive than the TV.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's insane to me.
You'll find this out when you go to buy your turkey for Thanksgiving.
Oh God, I bet.
It's
Corey,
crazy.
what's up, brother? Oh, some huge tarps. Oh man. So yeah, I got to figure all that out right now. The economy down here and the housing market down here is just insane.
Yeah.
And I think it's really going to drop out here soon.
How's the weather? Is it fairly similar to here, where
It's not as cold?
Winters get pretty cold, and you got a lot of snowfall.
We can have years where we get a bit of snowfall. I've seen 3 times in the last 20 some years we'll get a 3-foot snow load. You know what I mean?
The only reason I ask is that we have auctions up here where you can buy some of those metal garages.
Yeah.
In the kits, but they're very similar to what we built the Volvo in. They're not thick.
Well, I mean, at this point, I've built a pole barn, at my house in Maryland. I built that 810 square foot garage in Maryland, the one where all, my throwback videos that are actually going up because it's the only videos I have. Thanks everybody for watching those. It's so funny. Everyone keeps watching those and be like, who's I think it was Dancing. It was like, who's the shaved Navy guy? I'm digging the throwback videos a bit because it's also too like watching how I used to edit things. I'm just like, oof,
yeah.
Anymore for a reason.
Well, I see why my channel didn't grow back then.
Well, no, I mean, at the day, at the end of the day, those videos are just, and that's what I was telling the insurance lady too. At the end of the day, these videos have always been what I was doing. I was doing cool things in the garage, or these things I thought was cool. And I had cool people around me that I was just like, if somebody was watching this, I think some of this would be funny. And like somebody was like, oh, it was a funny opening or whatever it was on the last one. I was like, yeah, it's just the funny crap we got.
Hey,
I was putting the chest mount rig on. I was like, it lifts and separates.
I forgot about our subtitle names here. I just noticed.
Oh, you just saw that again? Yeah, I saw it. I
say about me. Plus, my eyes suck and I can't.
You're the Scottish cheapo. Apparently, you were doing a Scottish accent that last time we did.
Sweet. Yeah, I was doing my border accent.
Yep. Yeah, it was definitely that one. But yeah, so it's I don't know. It's definitely one of those. There's just so much crap going on. Like I said, for a minute there, I felt like I was doing a little bit of everything and accomplishing nothing because I worked through a list. They said, come up with a list of your stuff. So I started coming up with a list, finally sent them some pictures and preliminary on the list. And they're like, oh, you need to get a new person because that's too much money for me to handle. And I'm like, seriously? So I built my own thing in like Excel for pictures and deal. And I was like kind of surprised they didn't have that. And when I got to the new person, they're like, oh no, we have our own system for that. Here, let me send you the link. I'm like, mother. like seriously, I feel, but it was nice because I had a list so I could just copy and paste, and there was a good portion of work that I'd kind of been working on before. But like I said, she called me today and she's like, so how's it going? And I was like, I told her where I was basically, and she's like, okay. I was like, I don't know where I'm at because it doesn't tell you. You have to go through and add it all up. So I have no idea where I'm at in total. I just literally like I was saying, I go through and I'm like, okay. The thing I've been doing lately is I'm going through searching for like I find a picture and I'm like, oh, this thing's right there, and I go search it for how much was it, where do I get it, blah blah blah. And as I'm searching through, I'll find something else that was there somewhere, and then I squirrel down to go in to find the picture because I have pictures of everything, but I gotta go find out where it is to throw it in. So I just end up all over the place.
What it does is it makes you realize how much crap you actually had.
Oh, you're not lying. It's
you don't think about it.
And I don't even know how to do like the box of, there's a box that's full of hardware. It's just hardware, like lug nuts and bolts and screws, and it's all burnt. Everything is crispy. What's that box worth? We're talking 200 pounds probably of hardware. What's that worth?
A lot.
Though, how do I put a number on that to give to an insurance person that knows nothing about cars?
Now, if I walk into like our Princess Auto, which is equivalent to say Harbor Freight, maybe a little bit better, maybe, but pretty close. And I bought a set of bolts for but
these bolts are not a set of bolts. These are bolts I've scumbagged off of.
Oh, I realize that, but I'm just saying. Like I bought 5 bolts. It's like $20. It's hardware, so stupid nowadays how much it costs.
Corey, we don't have the state fire inspector's report back yet. They were leaning towards the dust collector motor. I personally believe it was something with the install truck. But that's basically because, like I said, when I came up on it, that truck was big time on fire. The building was on fire.
But I just want to clarify something. So
yeah.
You started that truck and moved it away from the shop while it was
my brother did.
Well,
so my brother was first on scene. My brother was there, comes out and finds the side of the building on fire, the pallets of wood next to the building on fire, and the truck was like the whole back half of the truck was on fire. But it was really close to the building at that point, like right next to the building, like with a pallet of wood between it. So he hopped in that thing, fired that 454 up, as I'm sure the gas tank at the back of this vehicle is on fire at this point. Fires it up, and it drove forward as far as it would go with what was in the bowls and in the lines before it no run no more while it's on fire, and then he like got out of that thing.
Wow, I'm gonna have to watch Christine after this.
Yeah, it wild. And then my dad was standing there. This is a man who's normally in a wheelchair who's now standing with two garden hoses, just trying to do whatever you can. Yeah. And when I get there, I took one of the hoses and I was just like, go move the bus, because everything was still against the building. Like when my wife got there, she started moving like side by sides and lawnmowers and all these other things that were like underneath the carport and everything. Hell, at one point, the last thing we moved before it really got bad was the skid steer. The Case Uniloader skid steer was has an issue with the starter. We've put a new starter in it, new solenoid, new everything. You still have to tap the starter.
Yeah.
Don't care. It doesn't matter. I still don't understand that stupid thing. So it was literally one of those like hop in it and tap it with the starter. Hopefully it starts while the building's on fire type of deals. And it fired up and we were able to get that out of the way. About the only thing that got lost for equipment wise was my lawn. I had a lawnmower that was there, a little crappy freaking whatever lawnmower, and weed whackers, chainsaws, all of our chainsaws. So I had two or three chainsaws over there, one with a pole and
two regular ones. New one too.
Yeah, no, I had older ones, which is fine because it does. I mean, it is what it is. It's replacement. I had an 044 and an 024. The replacements for those are very nice and new and cost lots of money. It's just the way it is.
I was watching a different video where they had an old chainsaw and they got a newer chainsaw. I thought it was one of yours, but okay.
No, I had to put a new pull on one of the chainsaws.
Maybe that's what it was.
And that was one of the videos I did. I did a video of the carburetor at one point on that 454 that was in the work truck, which I looked the other day to see if that thing burned so bad. The aluminum on that thing was like extruded or whatever, cast.
Yeah, cast aluminum. Yeah.
And it crumbled when it got hot. It didn't even melt. It like granulated. It's crazy.
Well, now, you said the 454 was burnt up pretty good, but that's an iron block, right?
Yeah. Everything on top of it was not iron and is now inside of whatever was open.
So did it have like aluminum intake on it then and stuff?
I believe I know it had an aluminum carburetor on it. I believe it had an aluminum intake, and then it had a bunch of aluminum up and around it. So that all like the dash and everything and the doghouse and everything just melted into it. Yeah. I looked well, and that's, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't mess with fire. It stinks, it destroys, it's just terrible. And so there was none of the things that have been messed up by the fire that I'm like, ooh, let me go play with that. I can see why things are totaled after fires. Even things that just got hot, but then got doused with water after the fire because it's all rusted and garbage.
Even the Parisienne, when I set a fire on under it, not
just a little fire. Fire.
Well, it was not that little, but it was big enough. But and it didn't burn that long. It burnt long enough. But the damage and the mess it made under that car in such a short time, it was, and it was enough to melt the with a selector on the side of the 4L60 there, that plastic box that mounts on the side of that thing, melted all that up.
I can tell you, Corey, that after watching that fire, I don't know exactly. You would have to do a combination of things to make that fire not happen the way it did. One would be different building materials, because everything that was composite shingle, insulation, everything just burnt so quick and so hard. So I think some sort of metal, like that, like Dudes was saying, that freaking carport just straight up took that fire. It was like, yeah, whatever, we don't really care. Or a serious fire prevention, like sprinkler system that can pump some serious water. Because like I said, they showed up with 1,500 gallons of water, and it didn't do crap.
Put in a halon system.
Halon's a bit much. I was thinking AFFF if we're really going to get,
halon's
Take all the oxygen out of there.
Yeah, AFFF, I think it's going to be a little less,
halon's one of those things where it's kind of not it's not really all that available anymore, and it's extremely expensive.
It's not cheap.
I work on halon systems all the time.
Well, the ones that are around are still there, but you can't. They're not.
Okay. You're right. Who puts halon systems in is basically, military and government, very expensive.
Data centers have halon systems.
I get. And how much do they pay for their halon systems?
Oh, it's a lot.
Exactly. Exactly.
The expansion we're doing right now, the build out on the room is $1 million, and it's a 15 by 20 foot room.
Listen,
I'm not going to disagree with you.
He was gone for about 25 minutes. His hair's messed up, and Mrs. Dudes ain't there anymore. So
and that shirt's on backwards, inside out now.
And that shirt is definitely on backwards from before. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Anyway,
Karma, how's it going, brother?
I mean, halon is very effective, no doubt about it, dudes. This is one of the reasons I use it in
It's
aircraft.
a fire suppression system that kills people.
Yes, I was going to say that's the problem, is you just don't want to be anywhere near it without some freaking supplied air. Because that's by the time anybody got onto that fire to be able to start putting it out, it was too late. The fire had gotten out of control. Well, no, I've been a part of a lot, I was saying earlier, of fires where they were stoppable. I've stopped some fires. This one, when I got there, I was like, this is bad. Like, we are not I knew we weren't prepared for that when I rolled on scene, and I was like, okay, what do we do? And after talking about it, I think we both come to the consensus that we should have tried for triage instead of, we were trying to put the fire out. We should have been knocking down half of the building to save the other half of the building. And that decision was not a decision.
Field fire rules. You just start digging a moat.
Listen, we were not prepared for field fire rules. We were not trained for field fire rules.
And yet you had a bulldozer and didn't take advantage of it.
I hopped on the bulldozer. That's how I burned. That's how I burned my arm and my leg. Is I tried to push a pile between the truck that's big time on fire and the building that's big time on fire, and I'm trying to push the pallet of of wood that's on fire out, and it stalled and didn't have enough to push it. Apparently I was also in a wrong gear, not the dozer operator, not the one that probably should have been in the dozer, but it was a wild time. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying is you're lucky you didn't burn the bulldozer down too.
The bulldozer definitely got burned.
I was amazed their hydraulic lines on all
the
of the things were not burning.
So at one point, David was on the Bobcat, like actively moving fire things for the firefighters, because they're like, we need to get into here, blah, blah, blah. So he's picking up things that are like on fire and just moving them. And I'm just like, ugh.
I don't know if you've ever seen a hydraulic line blow with fire around it. It gets real bad real fast.
It gets fun. It definitely gets
fun. I mean, it's very much like ATF, atomized ATF. It's I've got a video of what happens when that goes off.
That's kind of how flamethrowers work, actually.
Similar. Yeah. It's definitely Flamethrowers are cool. I will tell you what, though. Hanging in there. Hell yeah, Mom. Hell yeah. I will tell you, the glow put on by that and the heat. So that's been the other thing. The trees are turning brown all the way around, like and far away from the fire. The heat.
Smoke. I mean, they
it was
like
heat.
to take in the carbon monoxide, and they took in a lot of chemicals.
You think? I think it's more the heat, because the whole trees aren't browning. It's just the portions that were exposed, like directionally towards the fire.
The most amount of fumes.
Is that what you're
You
going
kind of hit the nail on the head when we were talking about it earlier. Is when it comes to fire, the sooner you can get on it, the better.
Yeah,
that's what it boils down to.
And it was just too much. It was too much fuel by the time.
At that point.
Yeah, it just was
for sure.
I mean, because he built that thing 30 years ago, and it's just been over there drying and getting cured. And
you just regularly wet your building down. Is that what we're gonna?
I mean, you might want to think about it.
Might want to just.
Corey was asking about what preventative measures.
Season, not a lot of rain. Yeah,
every now and then you got to wet your building down.
Just wet them down.
Well, I know that's a thing that people do.
You know what stops fire? Mold.
Mold, yeah.
Mold will definitely. Well, there's people that put sprinkler systems on top of their roofs for forest fires because of embers and whatnot.
Embers.
Yeah, that's how a lot of the fires start, is the little hot embers flying through the atmosphere.
All right.
Yeah, listen, I know you don't have any forest that can fire in old corn.
He's got corn.
Corn. Does the corn ever catch on fire?
Oh yeah, we just recently burned down like 110 acres last weekend because a combine wasn't being properly maintained, and it was out doing some combining, and it kind of lit on fire and just took a whole field with it.
Of course, those do that.
Yeah, those do that.
That is the thing. But okay, so at the end of the day, the corn goes, but it's all in a field, like contained,
attached to many other fields.
Yeah. But
which eventually get close to towns and houses and stuff.
Yeah. But literally, you just run another combine and put a fire line in it. And
okay, now we have an opportunity.
But then it goes back to that embers.
When the corn catches on fire, do you end up with a field full of popcorn then?
That's what I was asking. Popcorn.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know if you ever burned popcorn in the microwave. There isn't much popcorn left.
No, it's kind of like that.
It vaporized.
Yeah, yeah, it just turns into like.
Yeah,
and that's a nasty smell too.
It is.
Maybe like a field across the road might have some popcorn in it that didn't.
Didn't like because it was just next to the fire, but not on fire. Okay. All right.
Okay. Good to know.
Noted.
But I have seen fires jump roads. I mean, it doesn't take much.
Oh, you should see. So they finally gotten that fire that was in Northern California, Southern Oregon, out or away from people, and people are going back. Oh, yeah, it was big time on fire. The one that was causing all the bad air here. At one point, the air quality here was almost as bad as Kazakhstan. It was
come on, you guys were blaming us for like ever. Even
that was dudes. I never got it.
Listen, your fault.
For Oregon, we will not take any of your ill-gotten Canadian fire smoke. We make our own.
That's right.
We don't need your.
You send it up here.
Yes, and then we send it to you guys. That's how much better we are. Yeah, at one point, dudes was bitching about how the air quality was like 90 or something where he was at. And I sent him the picture of it here. It was like 500 or something like that. He's like, oh my God, I would die.
Yeah, I would die. And then like a week later, it was that bad here. And you could.
It was.
Yeah.
He didn't die.
I stayed inside.
Yeah, but all his neighbors are dead.
Well, I think that's unrelated, but they're still investigating.
Okay.
Hey, there's a Jewish thing.
Jesus Christ.
Well, he's not wrong, but
wow. I really thought with Jim not here, we weren't going to get demonetized, but
it's an inside joke, folks.
Wow. If you don't know, you're going to need to go watch some of our podcast and catch up on that.
It's a Jewish cemetery.
It is a Jewish cemetery, yes.
Yeah, I know it is, but it doesn't work for our
cheapest cemetery in town.
Without context, I think we get demonetized, though.
Well, there's not a lot of context in these to begin with, to
No.
be honest. Yeah, I don't know. We need to. I don't know if we need to figure out what we're doing for moving forward with.
So I have a fire story.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was on my way home. It's probably 2 weeks ago now. And I was driving my cherry 1984 Camaro, where I always look like I'm getting in trouble in that car. That's the problem with it. And
it's because you normally are.
I mean, things happen. But the main highway is closed right now. There's a lot of construction, so there's a lot of back road traffic, and we like to take the back road. So there was about 6 people in front of us. We came up a hill. As we came up the hill, I noticed to the right, the ditch is on fire. And I'm just like,
okay, all right. No, hold on. So you're just driving down the road and you see the fire out in the distance, or like all of a sudden
it's just like a nice little burning fire.
You crest the hill and then boom, fire.
You're just like, it's right there. Fire's
coming up
there.
a hill, look over in the ditch. I'm like,
well,
that ditch is on fire.
In dude's defense, you can't see crap over the hood of that car until it's right on top of you.
I feel like you'd see some smoke in the distance.
No, there was nothing. It was just burning nice and good.
It's a clean. It's that clean corn burning fires.
Well, it was a ditch fire, so I mean it was a little lower. So,
do you guys still have ditchweed out there? Is that still a thing?
Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah. Okay, so you're getting ditchweed high.
No, that's not a good high. That's a poison high.
No, it's still a high.
It's not a high because it doesn't have the stuff in it that makes you high because it's rope hemp.
I feel if it's going to send you to the point of like, exterminating your how do you say it without getting us demonetized? Getting you unalive, it's probably going to get you high of some sort.
Well, I mean, maybe asphyxiation high.
It's a little autoerotic.
So
we're
like the 6th person in this row of moving vehicles, and I went, "There's a fire!" And my son goes, "Should we call 911?" I said, "No, it's not very big. Think campfire." So I whipped back around, pulled back down there, pretty much in the middle of the road because there's no real shoulders; it's all ditches.
Yeah.
And get out. Told my son, I said, "If it gets any bigger, call 911. I think I can put it out."
Yeah, go put it out. Yeah.
So I don't have anything to put it out. So I just go down there and start stomping out all the fire.
Yeah, you got your boots, right?
Yeah,
you're
and I burned my boots up pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, it's better than being in flip flops.
So I'm putting the fire out.
So you took care of 2 problems at one time.
Yeah, not a big deal. I get the fire out. It's just kind of smoldering at this point, and the school bus pulls up, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "There was a fire." She's blocking the whole road for me at this point. Nobody can pass.
Yeah.
And there's people following behind her. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this jerk comes flying around 6 cars in a school bus, flipping us off because he had somewhere to be.
Oh, Jesus.
And then somebody pulls up the other way, and he goes, "What's going on?" I said, "I was just putting out a fire. I'm just making sure it's still small." And he goes, "Well, why'd you start a fire?" I didn't.
My God.
It has nothing to do with me, and he's just like, "Whoa, I'm going to call 911. I'm like, "You don't need to. There's no more fire
now." But
so then finally the school bus leaves,
now.
And everybody just kind of goes on their way because now there's nobody blocking the road. And me and my son go, "Okay, we're going to go down to the gas station. It's about a mile away. We're going to get some water. We're going to come back and make sure this is all out, pour some water on." So we go get some water. We come back. We pull over. We're out of the way. And another random vehicle shows up as we're standing there, just kind of making sure nothing's smaller. "What are you doing? Do you live around here?" "No, there was a fire." "Why'd you start a fire?" "I didn't start a fire."
Why does everyone assume that you start fire? You just look shifty is what it is.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with a red Camaro, just starting fires randomly on side roads in fields.
You do look, I'm not gonna lie, you do look a little pyro-y. I wouldn't put it past you that you firebug.
No, he doesn't. He's got too much. He's got too much hair on him to be a pyro.
No, that's what the pyros do. They grow a bunch of hair so you don't know.
Yes, as a good Samaritan, I stopped a fire from burning a field. Because it totally would have, because nobody else cared.
Yeah.
And everybody asked me if I started it. I assumed that they were like, "You're the guy that probably flicked the cigarette out the window and saw the ditch start on fire behind
Well,
you.
because he's driving Merle. That's why they assume that.
First of all, one, if you're driving that redneck piece of shit, you ain't looking at anything out of the foot. We're looking at what's going in front of us and maybe the squiggly lines down the back. Two, if I'm flicking this cherry out of this cherry red Camaro as I'm going down the road, 0 Fs are given after it goes out the window. You know what I mean? Get wrecked. Yeah, I saw it go out and combust. 3, what the hell is in that ditch that makes a cigarette go boom and light up a freaking ditch?
We have had a drought and had very little water. So all the ditches look like flash cotton. So
Jesus.
The fact that this countryside is not on fire all the time.
You got ditchweed and flash cotton just chilling along the roads. It's surprising we have any corn come out of that place. It's not all burned down.
It is amazing corn comes out of this place right now because it looks bad. It looks like it should be on fire just staring at it.
We finally gotten some rain here, and so the fires have pretty much died down. And Becky will have to say how it is up her way, but I know down here the smoke is not that bad. So we have reservoirs are empty here, rivers and creeks. Yeah, so we have been getting quite the drought. I think my battery's dead. Oh yeah, my battery is dead. I always have the coolest looks. You can hear me though, right?
Well, there goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's battery time, you know.
Unmute. There we go.
The other day I was thinking about shaving this all off.
Really? Giving up, huh?
That's what I do. I just give up on it and I shave it all off and start over.
Yeah,
I was doing something and I laid down and I pinched my beard and jerked and tried to break my neck.
Oh, that would do it.
I did that the other day working on that CP4 pump. I somehow did a ratchet move with it. It was like, ah, damn it.
Yeah. I was like, this fucking thing's unsafe.
Ben, what's up, brother? Yeah, no, I've been working on it. You know, it's my first beard.
It's your first beard.
It is my first beard.
This here's a virgin beard.
I never grew a beard. I sometimes got a Joe Dirt goatee going in enough leave, you know, like it grew in all white trashy all on its own type of deal. But this is my first real beard, and it was all gray and trashy.
Well, you get the Wolfman Jack look going.
I do, yeah.
You do. Yeah.
My wife wants to braid the gray tusks into something at some point.
This is probably the longest I've grown a single beard in over a decade. And I've still trimmed this quite a bit.
I have trimmed nothing, and it drives my wife crazy. I try to look like a homeless bum, which is what everyone else looks like here. So it's my camouflage.
You've trimmed nothing in all of this?
Oh, yeah. It goes in all white, trashy in like that, all on its own. Dude.
I have to trim this, or this just becomes one.
No. I guess I trim it as I, you know.
I got to trim this because it'll grow up to here.
Yeah, no, I've put zero maintenance into it. It grows in all white trashy.
I have to trim these because this actually grows into about there.
Bro, I gotta get down to Texas, or you got to get up to. You bring the old lady up here. Come up to Southern Oregon. I'll take you out on the rides and show you some God's country. You know that Texas humidity down there, brother. It's rough. Mine has started to grow back in on itself a bit. And I feel like it's not getting any longer, but if I pull it out, it's quite a bit long. I also apparently don't grow great right in the center here.
No, so what I do is I sit there and do this all day when I'm fidgeting.
Yeah.
And then I end up ripping out all of the center hairs.
That is because I definitely, if I'm pondering, it's definitely. Yes.
I'm feeling so left out right now.
You are the non-bearded. Well, so normally you have Jim, so it's a 2 and 2 type of deal.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling teamed up on.
yeah, you definitely. But I mean, we've got glasses to no glasses going here, so I mean, I feel
we
like
do. Yeah, I'll have to take some.
He's looking for his glasses now. Look at him. It's platinum. My wife calls them sparklies, and I have I think right here I have like a rogue streak, like a full-on section of gray ass hair that just runs out of the top of my head. Is that Jeebus just keeping an eye on you right there?
Look like
he's always watching. I didn't see that.
I like it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've added a lot of weird stuff to this desk. I still don't know where my glasses are.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best part. So we're cleaning up. Oh, Midnight is here. He's listening. What's up, brother? So we're cleaning up, and somebody says, "Is that a grenade?" And I go, Yes, that is a grenade. Don't worry, it's okay. I had one of those take a number complaint department take a number things, and it was a grenade. That was I had one. It was so awesome, and of course, all that burned up, and all that's left is the freaking pineapple. It's just like somebody's helping clean up. They're like, "Is that a grenade?" Like concern was in their voice, and I'm just like nonchalantly like, "Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, don't worry about it."
If the top's missing, you're okay.
Yeah, the top was missing. The bottom was, where because it was mounted through the it had like a plug in the bottom, and then it was screwed into the plug to mount it to the board, or whatever the thing was. But
well, just to completely,
brother.
Here, so
that's a different show. That's not tonight.
Yeah, you know what we're doing up here now is we're starting to have to register our podcasts.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me more about Communist Canada.
Yeah, exactly. The government wants you to register your podcast.
Well, you don't have freedom of speech. So that makes sense. Well, because they don't have freedom of speech, we need to be able to
come jail you if you talk bad about Canada.
Well, it turns out straight to jail. Or anything we don't want you to say badly, straight to jail.
Yes, yeah. But to be fair, now I'll clarify. It's the smaller channels don't have to do this. Only the big corporations.
Only the ones that have actual influence.
Only when you don't suck. Okay, well then cool.
What happens if you stop sucking and you weren't registered?
Well, then I assume you'll have to register.
Yeah, they're going to let you know.
They're not going to.
As soon as you can have influence, you have to register.
Yeah, YouTube does not like ad block anymore, and we will. And this is just telling. We won't stop hate speech or any of those other terrible things that are in YouTube, but we will stop ad blocker because we care about money.
Yeah,
that's what YouTube says. It's another one of those like, this is what we're saying, but this is what we're doing. And I feel like what you do speaks more volume than what you say.
Well, now, you see, the one thing we do have is we do have freedom of expression.
What does that
mean? You're going to have to explain that a little better for those of us that have...
speaking, you're free to not speak?
So basically, you can be... it's Canadian. Like, you can just say you're sorry for the thing they did to you, and you can express yourself as sorry, and that's all
you're supposed to be able to express yourself, whether it be verbally or other
semantics.
This is semantics here because you don't have freedom of speech. You can't say
we have freedom of expression, which is almost better than freedom of speech, but it's not really respected.
That is the most Canadian sentence I have ever heard in my life. It's almost better.
You're free
because it's not limited to just speech. That's why. Freedom of expression is not limited to just speech.
Okay.
Speech is part of expression, right?
I feel like that's subjective.
So you can say whatever it is you want to say?
No, you can't. In reality, you can't, but you're supposed to be able to.
I'm expressing my opinion of disgust with the government. Jail.
Jail. Why don't we have that?
You can express that from an 8x10 cell.
A good example of that was like the trucker protest that we had
here.
Yeah. In which they were supposed to be able to express themselves, but they got tossed in jail. And the way around that they used was that they were impeding and jeopardizing the public and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. I turned it on to where it is showing ads here. So that's what, That means we're not demonetized
ads right in the middle of the live, by the way.
I set it up to where they should be skippable or freaking display ones. I turned off non-skippable ads.
Well, when did they start doing that? I didn't think they had ads, and like at the beginning of the live or something.
Like you can be watching a live, and the ads will just start playing.
So I looked today, and there's 3 different settings. You can put it in, let YouTube do whatever the F they want, which, oh, by the way, is what everything's going to in a couple of months. We no longer are going to have any control over ads. They're just going to do what's best for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you can't monitor it, so they can put more ads in if they choose to, and then not pay.
Well, they already do whatever the hell they want and tell you what you get when they're done anyhow.
Yeah, I
so
feel like
this
they're
is
just going to
really
pay everybody less and be like, we didn't run as many ads.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
How do you know? You'll never know.
How do you know? You'll never know. How are they going to know? How are they
You
gonna
can't
know?
track it.
Nope. There's nothing to track here. Don't even worry about it. Nope. Dancing. What's up, brother?
We got
and you can moon the Can you moon the
well, in theory, yes, you could. That's freedom of expression.
I feel like you're gonna get an indecent charge thrown real quick up in old Kanakistan.
But there's that too, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
so the answer is no. You can't.
Well, that's like, in America, you can flip off a police officer. They'll find some reason to charge you.
Well, no, they will not charge you for flipping off.
Oh no,
the police officer. They'll charge you for
like
the other dumb things that you did while you were
I was
doing
investigating, and you took my time, so you're impeding on my investigation.
Yep, which is probably true sometimes. Some maybe.
I will tell you one thing though, is I do like the speed limits you have in this.
2 ads tonight. All right.
I mean, you were in the good What's up, brother? It's like 80 mile an hour and nobody cares, and everybody does 85.
Yeah, but I was also in the states where I had to do 65 or 70 or 75.
No one does that.
You see, we don't have a speed limit here that is higher than really 65.
What?
Kilometers.
It's like
miles.
Huge place.
Yes, but
you think
the top speed we have is
110
kilometers, which is about 65 miles an hour.
Are you telling me Canadians don't speed?
No, I'm not telling you that.
Because I know Peg's ass is up there going more than the freaking speed limit.
I'm telling you the legal speed limit up here is about 65, maybe 67 miles an hour.
So any place where it's higher,
do the Mounties actually pull you over when you're doing 80?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you were doing 80 miles an hour, you are done, dude.
Oh,
we have places where 80 mile an hour is the speed limit, and you're in trouble if you're not keeping up.
Yes.
So go to California. It doesn't matter what the speed limit is. Everyone's doing 90, and if you're not, you're dead.
Yeah, but like I said, that's why I like driving through the states, because my buddy's like, "Hey, I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through Saskatchewan." I said, "Fill your boots. I'm going to the states." Because I'm going to go faster.
So I have a little 2015 terrain, and when I drive north, it's 80 mile an hour, and regular speed is about 85. Correct, and it struggles to do 85 most of the time.
Yeah.
And people honk at you and act like a-holes.
Well, what lane are you in while you're struggling?
The right lane. In South Dakota, you're not allowed to live in the fast lane, period.
Listen, you're not allowed to live in the fast lane in Oregon, but I can tell you every degenerate in their mother going up and freaking down the I-5 corridor does
that, actually, because down there, you guys are way better at that than we are. You guys will
murder people in Canada, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you would, because people will actually move into the right lane and let you use the left lane to overtake. Not up here. They camp in that left lane,
dude.
So they're
like go around. They're like go around me. There's plenty of room over there.
No. They'll match speed with the car beside them and stuff like that, just to really hurt you.
God, just the worst people.
This is why.
This is why I can't drive around.
Crap out of them on the left.
I feel dirty going around them on the right. I don't feel right about it.
I'm
doing 80 right now.
Americans have a very, very unfair reputation.
I feel like we've earned some of it.
Well, some of you guys have, but for the most part, I really like going down there. I find everyone's very friendly and
speeding's not prudent. Dancing's not wrong there.
What's that?
He says half the time Canadian roads are frozen. Speeding is not
prudent. He's not wrong. No,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's got a point there.
But I have found that the majority of Americans are very kind, very generous, very, very nice people. And they don't have that reputation.
I can tell you they're on their phone, Becky. I seen it firsthand with my good eye.
So in Canada, Americans are known as rude a-holes.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a lot of parts of the world, they are.
Well, you're probably only
Well,
meeting
yeah.
the ones that go there, and they're probably
It could be, but it's been my exact opposite. I find most Canadians are ruder than Americans.
Jesus, Jared says, I was in Washington, got pulled over for 89 and a 70. The ticket was for driving in the left lane. Funny thing was, it was just him and the cop. Well, that's the way it is in Oregon too. If no one's around and you're camping in the right lane, ticket. That's how it should be. They don't obviously enforce it, or that's what I'm saying. Left lane. Sorry, I get my left and my right confused.
I think we have one.
Maybe that's the problem. I've just been in the wrong lane the whole time. It's really just me. I'm the problem.
I think we have one road in BC that gets up to 120 kilometers an hour, which is probably around 70 miles an hour.
Becky, where is the 70 mile an hour? Because it's 65 pretty much everywhere.
Really? Is Oregon that kind of state too?
Oregon's at 65, but everyone does. I cruise at 75, 10 over, and I don't normally have problems. Eastern Oregon. Okay, I can see Eastern. So Eastern Oregon's like high desert, and there's not much out there.
Pretty sure there's actually places in the United States where you can go 90.
I would assume Montana. Yeah, because Montana back in the day was a place you could go 80, 85. And the only time I've ever been through Montana like that was like with a big truck or a trailer, and it's just like I'm not doing
it says Austin, Texas is the highest at 85.
Austin? Okay.
Montana used to have a non-posted speed limit.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they did for a while, but then I think
there's only like 7 people out there, so it's not like there's a lot to really,
the location you can drive that fast legally.
But up here, most people will drive 10, 15K over the speed limit, which gets you up into around the 75 mile an hour range.
It's not a problem. All lanes are full of traffic. So it's basically California or dancing. That sounds about right. Just everybody. That's the wild thing about California traffic is it's jam-packed, but you're still doing 80 somehow, and not everyone dies.
Well, the other thing that's interesting about California is everyone speeds up going uphill and then slows down going downhill, which is the exact opposite of what you would expect.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I had to get used to was the lane sharing by the motorcycles.
Oh, splitting for the motorcycles, yeah.
That's just something that jackwad motorcycle people like to do that I don't agree with at all. So
I think if you're on a motorcycle and you can, then yeah, go for it.
Well, I think it's not necessarily such a bad thing during a slow-moving traffic jam situation.
But there's people that do it at 65 mile an hour.
But when you're doing it at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, we're doing 80, and that guy goes, boom! It's just like, I'm doing 80. I don't know what he's doing, but I kind of want in on some of that.
He's got big brass ones.
No. There's no way. Those guys going those speeds don't have big balls. They just have zero brains.
Well, could be that.
You just need to have bigger balls than you have brains. And so as long as the brains are small, the balls don't need to be big.
Yeah. But you see up here.
As you say that, I hear a motorcycle go up by my house. My street sucks. I don't know why anybody would go down the street fast.
Dude, some of those cops,
on your street,
swear they
I can't imagine why they would do that, dude.
To their cars to camouflage.
Yeah, no, they just went around the corner.
They don't like it when you feel them. Well, maybe some do.
I was gonna say I've heard some stories about some cops. So I used to work with a guy that was a Virginia State highway patrolman, and he was a reservist at one of the commands I worked at. And he was the best dude because he was like, if you're not doing more than 10 over, I and most people I know that do highway patrol aren't coming to fuck with you, because if we wait long enough, we're going to get the guy doing 80, 85. The big ticket. It's not worth it for me to go get you at 10 miles an hour over. When the guy, it's not even that it's not worth it for the paperwork. It's that they want to catch the guy that's egregiously speeding. He's there. They know he's there. They just got to wait for him. And if they're out catching you for barely speeding, it doesn't allow them to go catch the guy that really, big time.
Well, you got to think about it. Even if you get a 10 mile an hour speed limit, that took a lot of time and effort for them to earn $60.
Yes.
they get the big speeder. They get to earn hundreds.
Well, so maybe this was just him trying to explain it and not sound like a shill. It was more for the, for the safety of the big bad speeder. But yes, it does definitely go in line with you get more money. And Virginia, anything over 73 miles an hour, I think, is a reckless driving.
All Iowa and even South Dakota, 20 mile an hour over the speed limit is automatic. Lose license, go to jail, take your car.
So yeah, you'll have that. Or sucked up into the large intestine.
Well, I can tell you,
the
cops, they have different attitudes. Like I got pulled over once, and he came up with the attitude. He's like, "So where's the fire?" So I decided to, play with this guy a little bit. I said, "Well, in your eyes, officer." And then I was kind of eating pavement after that.
Oh, Jesus. Wait a minute. The Canadian cop put you on the ground?
No, it's a joke.
I was going to say, I was not about to buy that some Canadian cop was putting you to the screws.
Oh, no, they would. They would.
I feel like there's a lot of stories being said in there by that whole.
Not by the police.
My God! I so want to see now. I want to see the Mounties take someone down and just
hear them run people over with horses.
Sorry.
Did you not see them run people down with the horses?
No, I missed that. But I bet they were saying sorry the whole time.
Sorry.
No, they actually they do. They never say sorry ever. They'll never apologize.
They're just not freaking Canadian then.
Yeah.
Most un-Canadian Canadians I've ever heard of.
Over 80 or 20 over in VA. Okay. There you go.
Well, you got to think about it. So if you're in South Dakota
58 was terrible.
And you're already doing 80 and you're doing 100 just because, you're going to go.
Well,
so here's the thing. At 80, I don't know how you decide at 80 you need to be doing another 10.
Well, that's exactly it. Like when I was down there, I'm doing 80, maybe 8. It crept up to 85 once in a while when I wasn't watching. You don't really need to go any faster.
Well, when you're going 100.
Yeah.
Am I breaking up or are you breaking up? What's going on? Am I Starlinking?
It might be me.
Okay, I see dudes doing it too. Okay. I know that my vehicle's fuel efficiency declines sharply at 70 and above. As that speed starts increasing, my fuel efficiency just really starts coming down.
The Trans Am actually did very well. We put over 4,000 miles on, and it cost me about $750 in fuel.
I bet, Becky. How much? 700?
750 in fuel Canadian.
Okay.
So about $500 American.
That's not terrible for that.
4,000 miles. That's pretty good.
4,000. Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. I did way worse with the truck and trailer coming back from Arkansas.
Well, can't imagine why.
I can. Yeah.
Truck, trailer loaded.
I was only 35,000 pounds total weight. Yeah, that was the one where I straight up just kind of slowed down a bit because my consumption going through the mountains was so bad. I'm like, it's not worth trying to do the speed limit here. It's killing me.
But yes, this is why I like driving through the States. Is it's much quicker speed limits and better roads and.
Yeah. You're making me never want to go to Connecticut, Stan.
Oh no, it's still you get to have the slip and slide up here. It's fun. Give me a second.
The slip and slide. I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna go there, it's for the wooded beauty wilderness, and I'm like, I can do that here. It's right out there.
Northern Lights.
We don't have. Sometimes they come down here. We get them down this way every now and again.
I'm working on getting my passport right now.
Because you're gonna go up to old Kanakistan for the Northern Lights.
Mm-hmm.
Hang out with DD Speed Shop.
That's right. Yeah. By the way, it'd be nice to see you, but he's still 10 hours from me. So.
Yeah, that's the problem when they're like, "Oh, I'm coming to Canada." You're like, "Oh, where at?" And you're like, "Okay, that's still forever away."
It's actually farther to drive to you than it is for me to drive from my house to there.
Yeah.
It's only 8 hours
everyone,
for me to get.
I don't know
to
why
Manitoba.
everyone thinks that Canada isn't like huge.
Well, considering we have more landmass than the United States, yeah.
You guys count a lot of ice over the top of
We have a
ocean
lot of ice, yes.
land mass. I'm just saying, because there's
but I'm just saying,
global warming. If you're global warming is going to fuck up your
if you
your
go
land
from
mass.
one coast to the other coast,
Listen, there's a lot of creative. There's a lot of creative freaking math going on in those equations. That's all I'm saying.
I did hear a funny statement that kind of put me back on my heels geographically the other day when somebody was explaining something and they said, Brazil's in South America. And my response was, Brazil is South America. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Not a big geography guy, huh?
No.
No.
No, it's landmass.
Forget about everything else. It's just Brazil.
Just Brazil.
If you have to be told
Jesus.
Brazil is part of South America, you have a little bit of an issue.
I just want everyone in the world to have globes so they'll know where they are in the world.
I'm not going to disagree with you that Brazil is a very large portion of South America, but it is not only South America.
No,
it's really not that big of a portion of I mean, realistically.
It's a pretty big portion of it.
It's a big chunk, but I mean, Chile's not small either.
No. Chile,
so is Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina's pretty good sized, run down that whole other side over there and whatnot.
It's narrower.
It is narrower, but it's long. Hey,
listen,
it's not as girthy, but it definitely hits the bottom. Literally.
Well, then it goes back to how much that is real land. I mean, when it's like two scoops away from dirt water.
Well, but there's a lot of mountains there that you can't really do much on top of, big pointy bits. So, I mean, it's really usable. Useless. I mean, the Andes? I guess that's not Brazil. That's more of Chile and Argentina. But let's see here. Oh yeah, I always beat Google time. Anytime you're going up and down the I-5 corridor, you can easily beat Google time. That's if you're not racing what it says you're gonna do on your GPS. I don't think we can be friends.
Yeah, I never beat that. It's always like 10 minutes later.
Oh, really? Well, okay, so you're right. It always ends up because you end up stopping or whatever. But you're always racing against the time, right? No. Oh, I'm always racing against the time.
Because I have people tell me all the time, hey, I Googled that. It only says it takes 2 hours to get there. I'm like, it's going to be 2 hours 35, even if I don't get out of this vehicle. And they're like, how? I'm like, 2-lane highways.
Yeah. I don't know. So it says it should take me, 8.5 hours to get from my house here to my house in Washington State. I do it in about 7 if I do it at the right time.
When I used to travel down I-80 when it was all interstate to go from one end of Iowa to the other, it would be like 6 hours. I could do it in like 5 hours, 30 minutes.
Okay, so yeah. Well, that's the thing. The I-5 corridor goes everywhere up and down the West Coast here. So you basically have 4 lanes.
Yeah, but when I'm going to BFE, Iowa, no. It's never going to
like BFE, Iowa is anywhere 10 minutes off of an interstate.
Yes. North or south.
Right. Yeah. In any direction. Yeah, 10 minutes.
Then you get on a 2-lane, and the 2 lanes get backed up, and you'll get stuck behind a tractor and a semi, and you'll just hang out there at 40 mile an hour for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. So we have some roads like that too. I just stay away from those.
You can't not go on those roads in Iowa. They all everywhere.
Yeah, I drove on some of those roads in Iowa, and I got stuck behind some of those trucks for a short time. Mm-hmm. The other one I liked is when the trucks didn't stop. Just whipped out onto the highway.
Oh yeah, they own them.
Yeah. You'll go around them or through them. I mean, it's just they're not wrong.
They're pulling out. That's your.
I've run into the problem as I've gotten a bit older and the tanks on my vehicles and the fuel mileage have gotten a bit better. That I have to watch my fluid intake because I'm one of those we only stop to pee when we stop to fuel. Like we're driving to go to point A to point B here. We're not stopping for anything but fuel. And so now that I can go 600 miles on a tank or whatever, that pushes it even for me. Like I'm like, oh,
I was running into that with the Trans Am, because the Trans Am will do a good 400 or 500 miles before I need to do a fuel stop.
That's all.
It's a very small tank in the Trans Am.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Z doesn't get very far. In a road trip,
Bronco
in the Z,
does not get far at all for being a brand new vehicle. Its tank is way too small for its consumption.
Well, and it's probably got the fuel tank in it for the small Bronco, but the engine and everything in of the big Bronco.
I was having a hard time throwing $50 into the Trans Am down there.
See,
I used to have
I just filled up the Toyota for $60. It was like $65 to fill up the Toyota with garbage fuel. It was $120 to fill up the Yukon with medium, and I think another $140 for freaking diesel. I filled like 3 vehicles this week. It was terrible.
I used to be able to drive from Davenport to Columbus, Ohio without getting out. And that's 7 hours, 20 minutes, 503 miles.
8 passes to get to. Yeah, there's a lot. The mountain. So where I live right now, you come off the freeway or onto the freeway right to the first pass, and then it's 4 mountain passes right in a row going north.
Going north.
I was coming home the other day from the shop, and there was a semi that was on fire on the side of the freeway.
Oh, no.
Let's see if you guys can see that. It might be too much glare, but there you go. There's the fills that took me to go from, and that's in US dollars.
That is not bad at all.
That's what you paid to fill up?
Yeah, well, the first one was just kind of a top up, but then that's how much you paid to fill up.
I can't get away from a gas station for less than $100.
So I'm saying is the Nissan or not the Toyota is probably my easiest thing to fill up, and that's $65 every time I'm filling it up.
And that was from Sykeston right to home. That's how many times I filled it up.
496 times 12. Yeah, $60. $60 to fill the Camaro every time I do it.
Yeah.
But I went from St. Louis to Denver on one fill, so 2 tanks.
Nice.
That's not too bad. I know we pay a crap ton for our fuel here. Like they add a bunch of road taxes and another. My buddy John, who lives in like Southern Maryland area, out by Tim and all them, or even Midnight, the fuel prices there are way cheaper than they are here.
Well, when I was in Montana, the most I filled up for in Montana was $4.39 a gallon.
Shoot, that's not bad at all.
And that was
I went to the res the other day and got reservation gas for it was $4.39, and that was the hookup for like
when I was in Sykeston, I think it was about $3.29 a gallon.
For what?
For fuel.
Like 87?
7 feathers. You know it, Becky. Yeah. We always stop at 7 feathers for fuel. It's the cheapest place. That casino's. I've never been in that casino. I've just only been to we pulled in there, got fuel, and a freaking volleyball team of like 2 or 3 buses showed up and just descended on that store. I was gonna go in there for food, and then it was like
I actually briefly thought about coming over to see you, Wasted.
Oh, well, I mean, you're more than welcome to. That's hell out of your way.
Well, it was a little out of the way. That's why I didn't do it. But I was like, but when I was in Denver, I was like,
okay. Yeah, even from Denver, it's another day and a half of travel.
I could head west and add an extra day, and then come for a visit, and then head back north. But I decided not to.
Yeah, I don't blame you, bud. That's a hella out of the way. But that's the problem. Like you guys, you're right. Dude's right in the middle, so you can go a lot of different ways and run into a lot of different people. I have to go so far east to run into. I mean, Destroyer and Bryce are probably the closest geographically. Well, Turlow would be the closest up in Washington. Probably.
Yeah, you like for me to get down to Destroyer and Bryce, it's probably a 20-hour drive. About that.
87 is $3.09. Diesel's $4.03. I'm paying $1 more a gallon for diesel right now.
Yeah, I'm paying almost $5 for 91.
Ugh.
You know,
That is terrible.
I'm not even going to tell you what we pay.
Oh, it's in the
7.
liter. I know. It's even worse.
Well, it's actually when you take the dollar conversion into account, it's not too bad,
That's how
but it's still pretty bad.
It's not good.
It's not good.
well, now I'm
Let's see.
interested to know.
335 where midnight is, and 439 for diesel. I know, Becky. I drove right past you. I was
We're paying about
jamming.
$5.15 a gallon.
That's not terrible. Well, that's for cheap crap fuel, though, right?
No, well, our crappiest fuel is 87.
Well, that's the thing. I actually went on
There's a
that
big difference
trip.
between crap fuel and good fuel in this country.
I fueled here and went directly to the casino right off the island in Washington in one trip. I took the Yukon, and that thing again has a giant gas tank too. So I was able to do from my doorstep to the casino up there and get pretty decent fuel.
But I actually filled up at Costco today, and that was actually
gas, buddy. Yeah, I try to stick to casinos, man. If you've got a casino near you, that is the place to get all that other extra bullshit free freaking fuel. Oh, what are we doing here? Oh, we're gonna talk about this now.
What is this? Is that like a Granada or something?
Somebody has a problem.
I thought we weren't buying any more cars.
I'm saving cars.
No, this freaking guy actually went on and told everyone he was getting rid of cars. He was liquidating everything. How many cars have you sold, dude?
I'm going to give one away by the end of the year.
Okay.
We're getting rid of everything. I'm getting rid of all the cars. I'm done hoarding. I'm going to give away one car.
I made a deal.
How many cars have we bought this year, dude?
I mean, 3.
All right, show us what you got here.
Look at this. Look at this beauty. This car is pure ugly. Just
so doo-doo brown.
So ugly. Square headlights jammed in there. First year for it.
This
minty. Look at that minty hood ornament.
It's a Mercury.
Is that a Mercury?
It's a Mercury.
It's a Mercury Monarch.
It's a Monarch. Okay.
That is a Monarch specific emblem.
Oh my god!
Because it's got the crown.
Yeah.
So it was M&M.
This was the Cadillac Escalade before the Cadillac Escalade.
Yeah, they're definitely saying, I want to be a Cadillac, so we're just going to copy that.
We're straight up. This actually claimed that it was competing against Mercedes.
Shut up.
Yeah, there's commercials where they were comparing this to a Mercedes in the 70s.
Hey, he makes a good point. That was a long pause to count 3 cars.
Hey, I had to do the official...
I feel like there's some math being done there.
I try to remember when things happened.
So do we have more photos? I know you have more photos.
Oh, that is
race car.
And I noticed that it has to be.
How much did someone pay you to take this?
So these are not what would be classified as a popular vehicle.
No, this is a classic.
But it is a classic. And we are officially purchased ourselves a $500 classic car in today's standards.
Okay.
This is what a $500 classic car found in a barn looks like.
Now, you said you purchased.
So you're calling this a barn find classic? Is that what we're calling this?
It is.
Jesus,
it was pulled from a barn.
It
is a classic car.
I cannot wait for you to make this.
$425.
I cannot wait
for
you to
make a 302.
It has a 302, rear-wheel drive, C4. She's got all the good stuff.
I mean, it does have the good stuff. I mean, for Ford.
Yeah. Well, it could have had a 351. It didn't have that.
Yeah, that's true. There's that.
We lucked out.
Have you done any shorts on this, Becky?
I have not done anything on this.
So, judging by what's dangling underneath, it's a non-runner at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They claimed it ran.
That's what they claimed.
When it parked it.
It's got a dead battery or some bullshit.
They claimed it ran, moved, and stopped at the auction because they moved it.
Sure.
Okay.
And then I loaded it and went, there isn't a drop of brake fluid in this master cylinder. They are lying.
Well, maybe if it stopped, maybe it
I think you coyote swap this with a big old Turbski on there and call her a day.
I think we make it a daily driver, real easy, cheap style, and
I
people
think you
enjoy
forget who
staring
you're
at it.
talking
Then
to,
we'll
Wasted.
go things past that.
I say we find a Chinese turbo and flow through carburetor, and we make that engine go boom.
I still think you forget who you're talking to, Wasted.
I do have a 302 sitting on a stand.
Listen, he doesn't like LS motors. That's the reason I said Coyote and then turbo on his crappy.
I firmly think that dudes doesn't like anything past the 80s.
It's a 78, and my Camaro's an 84.
And you don't like it.
It's true.
I've figured out where the hatred starts and ends, and it's with square headlights.
I can understand that.
Okay. I don't like them either, to be perfectly honest.
They're just, I don't even, it was a scam. Square headlights are 100% were a scam, and they're ugly on everything. So I don't get it.
I don't either.
I like them on the Trans Am though.
Really?
No.
I do like them on the Trans Am. Yeah.
No.
You look at a round headlight.
No one has ever looked at a big square headlight and be like, "Damn."
Well, let's bring up the 78 Trans Am and bring up a 76 Trans Am then.
No, let's just say 71.
Okay, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, but it's just awesome looking.
Don't get me wrong, they're awesome looking cars, but I like the 78 just fine too.
If you had to pick one or the other,
I'd take the 78, honestly.
You take the crap Trans Am.
I would.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, even if it's the wrong opinion.
I happen to very much like my Trans Am. It was a fine car.
Oh, you're biased. You're biased.
I am honestly biased. I will say that but I have owned that 78 Trans Am since I was 16 years old, and I love that car.
Listen, if you're wrong, stay wrong. I get it.
Yeah, okay.
I grew up in a 78 Malibu with square headlights, and I'll tell you right now, any round headlight car over that one for.
Well, the reason I said a 76 Trans Am, and I will justify the 76 rather than going back to the 71, because the 76 is when they had maybe 74 is when they put the bumperettes on the stupid things.
No, those are ugly too.
And those round headlights,
after 74
but they have the bumperettes on them.
Yep.
And
anything after 74,
not cool.
It's not cool, man. Not cool.
Not cool.
That's why you gotta go back to 71.
And then the Enduro bumper corrected that, and it looked fine. So in 77, it looked fine. 79, ugly. Don't like that car.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna actually do some car videos soon.
Shut up.
It's happening. I've been editing the same video for a month, but hey, we're gonna do some other.
You're telling me we're gonna get long form videos at some point?
I have been super cutting a video series for literally a month every morning for an hour every morning.
Holy shit!
I have 30 hours into that.
Looking forward to it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's dumb.
How long is this video?
Right now, it's not bad. It's only like 35 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
So that's going to get done. I promised giving away a car, so we're going to build an 84 Cutlass, which is going to happen here real soon.
Thank you, Becky.
And then we're going to potentially bring in either a Monarch or a Lincoln, and that'll get done.
Okay.
You're gonna have to excuse me if I doubt, because I've heard plans about an El Camino once and plans about a bunch of other things that never happened.
He's become one of those big YouTubers. He's at the point where he has to do the giveaways now to get bigger.
He's got to start doing something over there.
Yeah.
Well, you know what would help him get bigger? Long form content, I think, would be like the first thing that would be helpful. over there. Same for you, by the way. Same for me. Long form content would be helpful if we did
yes,
it.
yes.
Yeah,
Well,
it
you know what
turns
would be
out.
helpful if I had the energy of someone like Dalton, which I
Anyone?
don't. I just
Oh
don't.
yeah, dude. The
Yeah.
amount of effort put in to film everything and then edit everything and then do it's just
And still
a
work
not.
and everything
It's
else.
a not insignificant amount for these guys.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Even if you make crap content, the effort applied should be commendable.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because
Agreed.
every time you do anything on camera, it took a ton of extra bullshit to do. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. It takes so much longer to film when you work on something than it does to just work on something. Just knock it out. Blake, what's up, brother? How you been?
Oh, he kicked my butt at No Name again.
Yeah.
He always puts me out.
You keep bringing the wrong equipment down, you know.
Apparently, he brings the Dodge, and I bring the Pontiac or the Ford, and he
just won't keep up with it.
Yeah,
I swear, if it wasn't so damn far, that would entice me a little bit more. But 2,000 miles one way.
It's a fun event. However, I think next year I'm going to shoot for duct tape.
I'm going to go do that one.
And I'm going to see if I can drag your butt down there with me.
Where's duct tape's in like Arizona? Tucson, yeah. Tucson's a lot closer than Sykeston. That's for damn sure.
For you, yeah.
Tell you what,
me, it's not
there
much
might
different.
Be a $500 car that might go there next year.
Listen, you were gonna scumbag me in a limo last time, so
we mutually came to a decision there because I still can go buy that car for $2,000.
What, the limo?
Yep.
Do it.
Oh man. 6 GoPros worth of foot. Tell me they weren't all running at the same time, because that's where I run it. When I do riding videos, I run like 4 GoPros at one time, and turning that all into a video is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I was doing the cleanup stuff, I ran a chest mount camera and like stationary camera, and it's nice because you get things move around, but man, editing it together it's definitely its own fun. Sometimes 3 at one time. Yeah. It makes for great effects and lets you do a lot with the footage. And I think you get a better quality video in the end. But man, it is some editing work.
I will say this: if we can get people to watch Monarch videos or even Lincoln Mark 7 videos, either one of those cars would be a good duct tape drags vehicle.
Yes, they would.
What do you consider people watching your video? What's our expectation here?
Enough people that it's
not a real answer.
Answer. That's a real answer.
It's not a real answer at all. Enough people? What kind of bullshit is that?
Dudes gets more views on his long form than you and I put together, probably, and it's crap to him.
I don't know. I think if you count the amount of videos that I put up in a month compared to the amount of views that he gets on videos that he doesn't put out, it's probably about the same.
Well, yeah. But I'm saying he gets a lot of views on his long form. He doesn't think he does, but to us, he gets a lot of views on him.
Oh yeah. It's not, I mean, like I said, if he actually how many long form views do you have?
Last 28 days.
28 days. I'm down for this game.
Analytics. It's easier to look up on my phone.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's analytics.
No, it's easier to look up on my phone. You just go over here and you go analytics.
Views.
Content.
Are we counting live stream or just videos?
Just videos.
4,048 in the last 28 days.
3,200.
Boom.
But I haven't put up a video.
That's exactly what I was. That's what I was saying. I probably do a little bit better than you, but I put out 3 videos a week.
That's an interesting question, Blake, because the way I understand it is duct tape. It doesn't matter how much you actually put into it. It's
yes, it
what
does.
they no.
Oh well, no. So it doesn't matter. It's just if somebody would buy it for $5,000.
Yes. What the judges say is this a $5,000 car. So you might have less than 5,000 in it, but they say, oh, this is a 68 Barracuda with a big block, blah, blah, blah. No, that's
you essentially have to be willing to sell it for $5,000.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And even then they can be like,
Ford Monarch, totally somebody wants to give me $5,000, I'll go home.
Well, I guarantee the Monarch would qualify.
Oh yeah,
even with a sushi slicer on it.
Oh, exactly. Because I'm saying you put you a little Hong Kong swirly boy with a flow through carb on that 302, and we see what happens.
I have a 302 on a stand, and we could put a lot of money into a lower end.
I don't know if you're going to put that much money. I mean, how much boost can a lower end on a 302 hold?
Not much.
500 horse is what they say. Then you start getting into problems.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can see why people don't do that now. Okay.
Yeah. I know the statistics and not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Noted.
Do you push more?
Well, all of my bad ideas have to do with LSs and turbos. I'm not even a big nitrous guy. I mean, I'm not opposed to nitrous. I just don't do much with it.
Nitrous to me has always been we know this is going to end badly, just win.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way.
Well, you're literally just building a bomb and hoping that it goes.
My buddy used to run a very built Acura, and like he said, he ran nitrous to pass people on the interstate. And that motor was dumb, and he got away with it a lot. But every time he did that, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't build a nitrous motor unless it was just it's a track car, and we're not doing that. But he just
so Jack Stam ran. Oh, look at this guy rolling in. I thought you were busy tonight.
Oh, hey, my non-bearded brother.
I went to Chima Brazilian Steakhouse.
Oh,
I was thinking,
is that the one that's down by the White House?
Nah, that's the one at Tyson's.
Tyson's. Fogo de Chao is the one that's down by the White House. That one.
Yeah. We had reservations for 6, and we were done about 9:30. So,
dude,
yeah.
If you guys haven't been to a big Brazilian steakhouse before, I highly recommend it. Do not eat that day. Do not do anything that day because it's gonna last. I remember last time I went, it was like $60 a person. And
is it just a steakhouse, or are we talking Brazilian carnival?
No, it's just a steakhouse.
They just bring you meat after meat after meat
on swords. You turn your little you got a little medallion that you turn from red to green, and these guys come at you with meats on a sword like it was
the only one we have close to us is in Sioux Falls, and they don't call it a steakhouse; they call it a Brazilian carnival. And they make way more than steak, and it's the same thing. They just bring you stuff. You flip your little medallion
I feel like
over.
There's people spitting fire and things going on.
They said they had 18 different things of meat. There's like sausage and chicken.
Did they have the pineapple too?
Yeah, they had the pineapple. Yeah,
pineapple's good.
The one the one that I said down by the White House had a salad bar. That's just this giant stupid.
Yeah, they had a giant salad bar too.
There was a bowl of bacon. I swear to God, that was like this big, just mounding with bacon. I was just like, that is the most awesome thing I've ever seen. So much bacon.
Yeah, I have no idea how much it was. My buddy's company was paying for it. So
prime rib. And
then once again, Jim has taken us off topic. Good job.
Oh yeah, Jim is very good for that.
Well, now I'm hungry.
Oh yeah, there you
go.
In the show. Yep, that's the steak there. Okay, nice. Yeah, no, that looks like
Festival of Meat.
It was. It is.
Oh,
they don't have pizza at the one.
They have everything.
Search Chima Tyson's. CHIMA. Yeah. And then Tyson's. TYSON. You can find the place I was at.
Now I'm freaking hungry.
That looks good, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have
I gotta drive an hour and 20 minutes to get there, but I go there. I don't eat for like 2 days, and then we go do that.
Yeah, because seriously, I'm surprised Jim's able to talk to us after not having the meat. I meat sweats when you come home from that place, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I didn't eat all day, because I knew I was going there. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime rib.
I end up in a meat coma when I go to those things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I'm dumb. That thing stays on, and you keep bringing it.
I'm like, hey, if I'm paying $60 a person,
you're damn right.
The worst part about that is I can go to a regular steakhouse and probably spend $120 for everybody to eat. So really, it's not that outrageous to go there.
It's not. If you and the old lady are going for what you get for $120, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
now,
and you're dumb.
You got to tell her to lay off the drinks because that's where they really get you at that place. Is the drinks are not cheap.
We had a round of normally $55 a shot, but they were on sale for $28 a shot of tequila.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's good.
It better be damn good for $50.
Better just leave the bottle at the table for $50.
I mean, I wasn't buying, so.
Oh yeah, no, it's not your money, but still, that is insane.
Well,
whose tequila is that?
It's like finished in whiskey barrels, so it's not even clear tequila.
It's a double barrel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Blake, everyone knows you don't eat the salad and you don't eat the bread. You're here for the meat.
Oh yeah,
the steaks.
A couple people are there like, oh yeah, we're gonna go check out the salad, bro. Like, I just said, go right ahead. I'm not.
I had to go to the bathroom, and I walked by it. I walked by it, and I saw the bacon bowl, and I was like, "That's the most awesome thing ever." And then they had chicken salad with raisins in it that was delicious, especially when you put that chicken salad on top of a plate of bacon.
Now I'm going to change the topic again, just so I'm going to show the one thing I did come away from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you came the furthest.
That's right. It's got the cool little.
Oh, that is freaking dope!
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually,
yeah, it's a nice little trophy.
That is cool as hell, dude. Hell yeah!
So I didn't come away empty-handed.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. How was the event this year? I didn't even really ask. I mean, I'm assuming it more people than last year.
A few more. I don't think it was actually a lot more than last year, but there was a few more there, and it was good. It was the same. It was really nice to see everyone, meet some of the newer channels up and coming.
Yeah.
Is it Blake?
I don't know. I'd have to see Blake, but that one looks pretty dope with all the stuff on top and whatnot. I mean,
but my daughter said that was her favorite part of the trip is getting down there and meeting everyone. And I mean, we went to Six Flags, Yellowstone, and everything else, but she enjoyed.
Yeah, I saw you all on Instagram hitting up all the. It looks like you did all the touristy stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's awesome.
I've never been to some of those places. I live in this country.
Yeah, no, that's dope.
So yeah, it was a. Oh yeah, that's right.
You got the oil down.
You didn't even really do much. Like you didn't even really break. But they were so desperate to give it to someone. It's like
just somebody. They just gave it.
I think while you were changing your oil, you dripped some here. So here you go.
Oh wow!
It was like I think you had a leaky valve cover or something, wasn't it, Blake?
Oh, that's it. Get out of here. That's not even bad.
Yeah.
4 drips.
Yeah.
God, don't come look at any of my stuff. Oh, so I took the motor out of the Z, right? I set it on the concrete, come back the next day, and there's not the Z, out of the Subaru, and there's an oil ring around it. And I'm like, did I break the pan on this freaking thing? Seriously? Picked it up to see where the crack was, and the drain plug wasn't tight.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Whoops.
But it probably heated up to the point where
no, it was fine. I think it just like got hit when we set the motor down on the concrete and like spun that cap or the plug just enough to make it start weeping. I was just like, Becky, have a good night. Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely one of those ones where it's just like, really, I broke this Holly pan. You got to be kidding me. And then I was just like, oh my God, I never tightened this. Oil has been in that motor for like 2 years now. And apparently I never tightened the dips or the drain plug all the way.
I would like to get back onto putting a sushi slicer on the Monarch though, and bringing it down to the tape drakes.
I thought it was a done deal. I thought he was.
We're doing this for sure.
Well, I mean, just like we were going to buy a limo for sure, you know.
I can buy a limo. You keep bringing it up. I'm going to hold you accountable.
I told you if you do it, I'll come, but don't do it because I don't want to.
Exactly.
That's how
and I said, I don't want to do it either. If you keep bringing it up, I'm going to be forced to force
Don't-
your hand.
I don't want you to do it. This is a terrible idea. I don't want to ride. I can smell it already.
That's what Febreze is for, my friend.
The
That's
second
what
it starts
Febreze is
snowing,
for.
I think I can offer 1,000 and probably get the thing.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. Where are you going to put it, though?
Yeah, what are you going to
Exactly.
do with it? Don't get it.
I have
It's a terrible
officially
idea.
17 vehicles on this property again, and I saw the city people driving by, and I got scared.
Oh,
Were they waving at you?
God.
Hey, we're coming to
How
see you
many acres do you
soon.
have there?
What?
How many acres do you have, brother?
1.
1 acre, 17 vehicles.
You know what? I'll tell
Everyone
you what.
has
You
that
get
neighbor,
limo,
unless
I'll come
you
down and get
don't,
it. I'll keep
and
it
then
on
you
the
are
third
that
tape,
neighbor.
on tape.
So here's the thing.
Oh,
It's
that's a bad
well
idea on long rules.
hidden.
It is. You
I've
have
seen-
to keep it. I seen the
Well,
yard.
he's got that
Everything's nice and
downhill
neat and
thing.
covered and
Yeah.
organized. And I can't believe that they still give you a hard time for that.
Oh, I get lots of hard times.
Well, he's in city limits, so he needs is some Karen to bitch about it.
There's a horse down the street.
I don't see.
But only one horse, not
Yeah,
17.
It's 2 horses and a pony.
You can't even
Okay.
see the
Okay,
stuff.
so I'm still. You're not allowed to have horses in
Well,
city
we're in
limits?
city. If you're gonna be like, you're in the city, there's a horse down the street.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there is no laws about how many horses. Well, I'm sure there actually are
Well, there
laws about how
probably
many
are
horses you
laws
can
about
have.
horses in the city. Yes.
I bet you they're within. They can have those 3 horses, and you can't have 17 cars.
That
Because they're covered.
horse,
It's an emotional support
lot.
horse.
the horse lot was installed before the city had grown to that point. So as long as they keep horses there, they're grandfathered in.
Mhm.
Well, maybe you could call your place a junkyard.
But
And it has always been a
you
junkyard.
cannot call his place a junkyard. It is neat, it's organized, it's covered, and you can't even see it from the street. for the
All
most part.
good junkyards are neat and organized and covered.
He's not wrong. A good junkyard
No,
is.
no, I wouldn't go that far. No, they're not
I
covered.
dug out a bank to tuck cars in behind a bank.
He's stashing them in the bank.
Well,
Oh my
there's some
God.
hidden behind the house in the garage. You can't even see them.
Hidden.
But you can't see half the stuff on your property.
Winning.
Most hoarders are that way.
Yeah, though, his town might come to the 21st century and get a drone and then just go
Or
$5.
satellite or satellites.
The rule states it has to be seen clearly from the street, and they take pictures
do that?
from the street.
Yeah, it's only the zoning office that uses satellites to see if you put up a shed on your property.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me. They just updated the satellite image for where I live, and I was checking it out. Man, there are some massive pot grows out in the middle of nowhere. Like you're like satellite view, trees and roads, and then there's this big like scar with like little hoop houses, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what that is. And you zoom in, and it's just hundreds of freaking greenhouses in the middle of freaking nowhere. It's weird. Weird.
Nice.
Probably get some cheap greenhouses out your way.
Yeah, the right time of year, people are selling things for pennies on the dollar.
Well, you still see people riding horses in the streets up here once in a while.
I mean, I can't say that surprises me at all. I mean, don't you guys have dog sleds like half the year and shit?
Yeah. Well, you know what we do is we bring all our cars and we put them in storage at the border, right? So they don't get. Yeah. What are we looking at here?
Oh, whose house is this?
It's where you keep things.
Oh, is this your?
That's not your place. That's not your place.
That is one of them.
That's one of them, maybe.
One place where I keep things.
So what do we got here? One. I can't tell what is car and what isn't.
Well, that's the best part. See all these trees? This is
Yeah.
all cars in here.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32. Rough from what I see real quick.
And that doesn't count anything that's in buildings.
Yeah, no, and I'm counting that. The one is obviously a trailer, but I'm counting it.
This is a trailer.
Yeah, I know. It's you can totally tell, but I'm
These
still
are
counting
all
it as one.
vehicles.
I still want to try 5.
Let's try 5 right here.
On or about. See, I didn't count that.
Let's try
Is
5
that the family
right about
try 5?
here. What?
Is that the old family try 5?
There's one here. There's 2 in this building, and there's 2 in this building. And
Yeah,
this
but
is a
that one that's you were saying sitting there, is that the old family car?
That's this one here.
Yeah.
And then this whole there's a row of cars right here underneath this tree row. Because what you're not seeing is there's actually a mobile home right here.
Full of cars.
Car parts.
Car parts. Oh man.
Nice. I like it.
That's
nice.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going the opposite direction at the moment.
Well, yeah, when you light everything on fire and watch it burn.
Just let it burn, man. It's a fire sale. I didn't sell anything. It all caught on fire.
Yeah, that is an extremist point of view, isn't it?
It's definitely liberating in the fact that I don't have to worry about a large chunk of stuff that I once had to worry about. It does, however, suck for everything that I'm like, oh yeah, let me go. Nope, can't go do that anymore. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of that.
And you know what? You're coming into that time of year where you might want to do some of that because the riding might actually
that's the thing. I haven't been riding in so long with everything going on. It's just I have not done any riding. I have a bunch of riding footage. Like I need to edit the trip to the dunes, which is where we're at for editing, but I just haven't. I'm hoping to next week get some videos back out other than throwbacks. But all right, boys, it's been 2.5 hours, and I know we try to stick to 2 hours here. Midnight rolled in and then rolled back out. I feel bad.
Yeah, he just like, I'm out of here, dudes. Like, I don't understand.
I mean, I get it. We're boring tonight.
Are we?
So,
so boring. I really appreciate you guys. Oh, there he is.
Oh,
he's back.
I think they updated my picture. That does look like a mess.
Oh.
Do I do a share?
I remember at one point they had a satellite image update at my house in Maryland, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm that person." Because there's just so many cars stacked up in the backyard, like they're all in line and whatnot. But it's just like, "Oh god, I am so that neighbor."
Oh, here we go.
Oh, you got it. Oh, good. Oh, wow, bud.
Yeah.
you don't have any grass.
No.
We gotta mow that, you know.
It's kind of grassy.
Where'd your grass
Sometimes.
go?
But there's not a lot of grass there. It's prairie, man. It's weed. Weeds,
It's
not
prairie.
weeds.
I was gonna say the weeds over by Wasted.
I'm gonna say, yeah, come on. Oh, and this is the time of year, like you drive somewhere and it's very noticeable in the smell in my neck of the woods.
But this is actually fairly recent. Let's see.
Holy.
There's the Jeep there. I only moved the Jeep there not that long ago. So
There you go. They're updated on you.
here's the boats. Oh, and that's the other Parisienne. Boy, this is really recent.
They're keeping an eye on you
Moving stuff around too much. They start checking.
Yep.
Yeah.
because you got a podcast.
Here's Trailer Row. Here's the trailer.
You haven't registered your podcast, so they're.
Wow.
You want to see?
You have one hell of a dirt bike track here, bud.
Well, that's what I do. I take the dirt bike around.
I was
here.
gonna say, yeah, you got one hell of a track for it.
And there's one boat there. There's the other boat. Another boat. Another boat. Boat.
God, you had
Well,
boats.
hitting water.
Do you get paid to keep those boats there, or do you just have a bunch of boats?
Well, half of them are mine. No, I think all those are mine actually.
Ugh.
I think all of those boats are mine.
Well, there's a boat or two that shows up that's not mine, but I think
Just
all
randomly
those are mine.
show up?
From time to time.
I got a fairly decent horde. What? Watch this.
Oh, okay. We gotta drop that
Like
one.
this. Present.
Yeah.
Share screen. Enter. Boop, boop, boop.
Oh, well, that's impressive.
Oh Jesus!
I don't know. I think we have to do a side by side. Mine's a lot more condensed than yours is.
And this
But
is a completely different place.
I think the one on the east side there, that right there, that has the total of what I've got in my yard.
And all these buildings are full.
That is some cars. That's a junkyard.
Well,
Like, okay, how many cars does it take to be a junkyard?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Maybe that's our next
I
topic.
mean, I think junkyard classification is for resale. So
that is definitely our next question, our next topic. How many cars before you're a junkyard?
Well, and it also would have to take into account the state of the cars.
I don't think it does.
It does, because if you have all new cars, it's now a dealership.
It's a car lot. No,
Car lot.
we don't sell cars. We're not selling them.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like it's a car. It's car storage then.
You're not wrong.
Nah.
I feel like you're right. This is for another. This is for another episode for sure. All right, we're gonna shut it down. I appreciate everyone coming out. Everyone watching the videos, and I really appreciate it. Turlo, I'm sorry for everything we've done to the Subaru. We've got one more day of tomorrow destroying the Subaru, and then we're done. I won't show any more for a while.
I'm happy to see it get destroyed.
My dad took out a good bit of aggression on that thing. I don't know if you see the ones where he's picking it up and like flying it around and whatnot. Like he's definitely gotta have 50 cars to be a junkyard. Anything else is just a collector. I like that.
We'll save this discussion for
I'll just keep spreading them around from place to place.
I feel like that's a t-shirt.
Dude clearly doesn't have 50 cars. Trust me. If you do the
in
math,
one place.
Not 50.
No,
not at one place.
Not
not
maybe.
in the location.
Maybe.
Yeah, I see. It's just satellite yards. But all right, well, I don't know when we're gonna do our next live. We gotta get our lives together, and that's very difficult, especially for me lately. But appreciate everyone, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take care, everyone.